What's going on, everybody? Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, friends, Romans, countrymen. Lend me your rears as we listen to episode 21 of No Bucks Given right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel. Of course, the Horny Goat podcasting network, where you, of course, can listen to us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. You guys know me. I am your host, Lars Pants on Fars, and welcome to the round table where we talk about everything going on here in the world and just kind of just random whatever happenings that we find. Of course, I am not alone. I am here with me with the wonderful Horny Goat crew. First and foremost, I've got the power couple themselves, JP and Heather. What's up, y'all?
Not much, man. I was in a lot of pain yesterday. I did not sleep at all last night.
Sweet tart hangover?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just in a lot. I don't know why. I was just in a lot of fucking pain yesterday. I think it had to do with the weather. But I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm still a little sore, but my shoulder doesn't hurt as bad.
That's good. How are you holding up, Heather?
We did 5 loads of laundry today, and then I'm going to have to fold on Tuesday after we get home from taking this one to the doctor.
Well, let's rephrase that. I actually washed and dried all the clothes. Okay. Wow. My shoulders took a great big giant shit on me today, so Heather had to come and help me do the last loads.
Mental imaging on that one.
I couldn't. All the rotating my shoulder and shit, I couldn't.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But we're doing good, man. Got my niece's graduation, Paige. Her graduation party is tomorrow, so we're going down there.
Nice.
Fuck, she's graduating already? Jesus.
Yeah. Time's flying. It's fucking crazy.
She's 18 now.
Jesus.
And of course, the wonderful Gina J. What's up, Gina?
What's up? I know alone either. I love the intro where you're like, I know alone.
You want me to draw?
Yeah, I know alone. Me no alone.
I know alone.
Me no speak English good.
Yeah, man, everything's going good over here.
I'm just saying for the record that my English skills were clearly the main reason I was thrusted upon the role of MC of this show and many others here on the Horny Goat channel. And of course, last but certainly not least, especially in the cockles of my heart, we got everyone's favorite bear from upstairs, Canadian Basement.
You can't talk about cocks and holes in front of me.
Cockles, not cockles. Well.
It's close. Cockhole. I wanted to ask the chat before we start. I had to do something with the audio. I hope everyone can hear everyone. Is somebody in the chat? Tim, Federico, Jurgen, Paul, any of them can confirm? That would be great.
You're just listing everybody's name in the chat just randomly. Like, I mean, we do have a lot of people also in the chat, so might as well shout them out now. We got Alpha, Federico, Tim, Jurgen, and I believe that is Paulo Zola. I think I mentioned earlier. We've got a good amount of stuff to talk about, but yeah, do let us know. Yes, Tim, when we have ever spoken English good, Connor. No, even that sentence I know is not right.
You're all good. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's well. Like, we speak English well, but you know, who am I?
I'm just, God damn it, that was a joke.
So, since Gina wasn't here last night,
yes,
we're going to do the icebreaker that I did with you guys last night.
Oh, God, okay.
You better remember your answers.
It's a fun little thing.
You'll like it.
Remember my answers. I have a fucking shit memory. This is not going to go well.
I'll remember them for you.
Stop.
I'm going to give you time to come up with your answers. And it's not that hard to answer the question. All right?
All right.
What is your favorite color and 2 reasons why?
Don't tell us. Write it down. Write it down.
Why do I have to write shit down?
Get a fucking pen.
One more mental.
Get a notepad. Get a pen. Get a printing press.
10 seconds.
A minute.
Get a typewriter.
She is going to shit her pants.
That's phase 2.
That's also called phase 4 in Marvel.
Not wrong.
I had to find a piece of paper. Oh shit! My boob just popped out. All right, I had to find a piece of paper.
So you're good.
You turn into Randy Orton.
I hear voices in my head. They tell me go and eat some bread. They talk to me.
They talk to me.
Question.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Do you want me to repeat the question again?
Oh, it was what was my favorite color and 2 reasons why.
Yep. Okay.
Next question. What is your favorite animal and 2 reasons why?
It's morphin' time.
Remember Animorphs?
Oh God, how could I forget?
Those book covers
the
are
book
fucking
covers.
disturbing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, they'll fucking. I'm like, yeah, this
horror
is
shit.
really wanting me to fucking really want to watch this thing when I see a half animal, half iguana, fucking mid transformation. Sorry, JP.
No, it's all right. Just let me know when you're ready, Gina.
Okay.
Third question. If you were floating through outer space, 2 things you would be thinking.
That was my favorite one.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Last question. If you were whitewater rafting, 2 things you would be thinking.
Oh, maybe it's this one.
I want you to be honest when you're ready to give the answers. I will repeat the question and then you tell me the answer. And I will tell you what it means. That's exactly what I'm going to tell you, okay? That's what this is all about.
Okay. All right, I'm good.
All right. What is your favorite color and 2 reasons why?
Okay, so my favorite color is teal, and it's because it's the color of the ocean in some spots, and it's just a happy color. It makes me happy.
This is what traits you are attracted to in another.
Awesome. I'm happiness?
And water, apparently, which
Water!
Mine had that shit too, though.
you say water and sky. It's like, so a birdfish?
All right. Second question. What is your favorite animal and 2 reasons why?
A goat, and it's because they're silly and they look really goofy.
This is what others are attracted to in you.
So you guys, like, Philly, if you're listening, are you attracted to my silly/goofy looks?
Trick question. Abort.
I know it's my silliness, but I don't know about the goofy looks so much. All right.
If you were floating through outer space, 2 things you would be thinking.
Fuck, I'm gonna die, and looking around for Pennywise and repeating, we all float here.
This is how you view the afterlife.
Well, fuck, I'm gonna die. That's so
already happened. Looking around for Pennywise.
Yeah, that's a little more. That was
terrifying.
A little more out of the specific, like looking for Tim Curry.
I know.
And last question: if you were whitewater rafting, 2 things you would be thinking.
I'm gonna drown and fuck.
This represents your sex life.
I mean, it all depends on how we're taking fuck.
Right, and drowning. So
I'm gonna drown.
Fuck? Are we talking like literally fucking, then shitting, then fucking?
No.
It's like eat, sleep, repeat. Fuck, shit, fuck.
That's great.
So,
Oh my gosh, that's great.
my boss that I explained it last night, my boss did that at an event we did with 200 people. And he brought somebody up in front of and revealed her answers. And every answer she gave, she's like, yep, that's me.
Well, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep.
So there you go. That was what I did with the guys last night.
that was fun.
Thank you, Silent Gamer. Everything about you is attractive, he says. That's my boyfriend.
Fuck shit. Fuck. All right. So, no, it's all good. So of course, we're gonna talk about a variety. What's that?
Said Google, motherfucker.
So, of course, we're going to talk about a variety of different things. If you all want to participate, you can check it out if you're listening us or watching us on the YouTube channel, live on the feedback. Make sure you check out the links. We did link to most of the stuff we're going to talk about in the description below. We do have quite a few things to talk about this evening. And I think the first one that we should probably jump into, because one, it's probably going to be the longest discussion that we have. Two, it's going to be the one of probably the biggest emotional weight, and just it's the biggest out of all the stories. It's probably the biggest tragedy and the biggest unfortunate news head grabber was, of course, the latest shooting that took place. It's been a week since we've done another No Bucks Given. But of course, I think we need to kind of just get this out of the way and get this out of the open. Of course, the horrific elementary school shooting in South Texas, 19 children, 2 adults in I can't remember how to pronounce the name of the town. Uvalde,
Texas.
Uvalde, thank you. I always forgot how to do it. And then on top of that, obviously there's a lot of ramifications, fallback, all ripple effects for all this. I don't know if you guys heard, but I also heard through the grapevine that apparently the husband of one of the 2 teachers that was killed had a fatal heart attack and also passed away. So it's like, I mean, Jesus Christ. And unfortunately, it's another one of those things where it's another one of those absolutely horrific, tragic situations that did not obviously need to happen. And it, of course, brings up the whole question again of like, what can be done to prevent this? And what the fuck to do. And so,
I mean, all right. So here's the thing. I know people are gonna fucking disagree with me, but I don't
disagree with you.
Shut up, basement.
This kid wanted to hurt people. He was mentally ill. He was only 18.
Yeah, and his victims were fucking like 10.
I understand that. It doesn't excuse what this kid did, but this kid was mentally ill. There was something fucking wrong with him.
Right.
He was going to figure out a way to hurt he was going to figure out how to hurt people. Doesn't matter what he was going to use, what he was going to not use. My thing is, stop blaming the fucking gun. Mm. Start blaming the people that are doing these things. How about we help people? Do I agree with stricter gun laws? No. The reason I don't agree with stricter gun laws is because that's what the criminal want. If you start banning guns, just guns. If you just start banning guns in general, this country will become a third world country and will be overthrown by criminals. It will become a criminal ring country. Because what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and JP, I completely agree with everything that you're saying. I said this on I think I put a tweet out about it the day after the shooting happened. Banning guns is not going to do anything other than making illegal guns more, they're going to become more popular. And then there's really not going to be any way to trace them. And ultimately, this kid's mom admitted that she knew that there was something, mentally wrong with him. So ultimately, I think it's going to come down to better parenting tactics. And honestly, I think the worst thing that this country ever did was shut down asylums for the mentally ill. They closed so many asylums, so there's nowhere for these people to go. So they're roaming the streets.
My other thing is, and I don't want to dominate this conversation because I know Heather probably wants to say something. She's in there, Wendy, right now. And everybody else wants to get their 2 cents in. You see all this a lot on Twitter. I've been seeing this a lot. People saying, my thoughts and prayers are with the family. And then somebody responds with, thoughts and prayers don't do shit. Well, what the fuck do you want people to do in the fucking moment? I understand that everybody wants this. They want to we need to change things. We've got to change how we. You only get to do that once every 2 and 4 years. You don't get to do it every fucking day. If the senator isn't going to fucking do his job, you can't say you're fired to him. You have to wait and try and vote him out. But even if that does happen, they still aren't going to do anything. They've been fighting over this thing for how many fucking years now? And every fucking term that comes up, oh, we got to do something about the gun laws. We got to fix this. Have they done anything? Have they done anything? Have they even tried? They can put a bill together, but just throwing a bill together and praying and just assuming that everybody's going to agree with it is not how you fucking go about it. You have to have the conversation. And I know Alpha said, I really don't want to talk about this, to be honest. You know what? We need to talk about it. Because this issue is
But
huge.
you know what, though?
It's not the gun. The gun is not the fucking problem. It's not.
You know, the thing is, JP, no, I agree. The thing is, even if they do pass a stricter gun law, there's nothing to say that, you know, the next 4 years down the line, when new senators and congressmen are elected into office, that bill's not going to change. You know, there's no one solution. It's going to take a number of different solutions to come together in order to stop this.
Even if you fix that law and put a gun ban on every fucking gun that anybody owns, you have to do this, that, and the other thing. These fucking people, these mentally ill fucking people and these crazy motherfuckers are gonna get a hold of it illegally. It doesn't fucking matter. You can throw all the fucking gun laws in the world at them. In fact, Don Bongino said it on the show. He was arguing with Geraldo Rivera about this very issue. And he said, Geraldo said, we need to have stricter gun laws where you can't buy a gun. You know, I can't even remember what he said. And he literally said to him, that's what the criminal wants. Because it's harder for the people that know how to use it use it right are going to be fucking screwed because they can't fucking defend themselves against people who get it illegally.
Exactly. All the stricter gun laws are going to do is it's going to take guns out of hands of people that need to be able to defend themselves.
That's exactly it. It's exactly the problem. And nobody wants to face that. They can't answer it. Oh, your thoughts and prayers don't do shit. You know what? You saying your thoughts and prayers don't do shit either. Sorry, it don't fucking help.
Well, you know, sad fact is that the common people, we can't fix this. Nobody can fucking fix this. This is a people problem. This is not a gun problem. This is a people problem. And until the day comes where we actually start paying attention to our surroundings and actually giving a fuck about the person standing next to us again, this is not going to be fixed.
Yeah,
it's because there's too many fucking people in this world that, oh, well, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. But yet when something like this happens, oh, this is an atrocity. Okay, well, you knew this kid. You knew that there was something wrong with him. So why was it not your problem then?
So the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll shut the fuck up. The last thing I will say, hopefully, unless somebody ask me a question.
I'm not putting any money down on that. I love you, but I'm just saying.
I think our Congress doesn't even understand its own fucking laws that they fucking write. Because I literally seen a few of them on there saying we need to ban assault rifles. Motherfucker, they already fucking are. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna ban something that's already fucking banned? You can't say we need to ban assault rifles. Assault-like rifles? Do you know an AR-15 is not an assault rifle? Can it be modified to be an assault rifle? Absolutely. This is why you need a heftier background checks. That's all I'm going to say. But an AR-15 is not built to be an assault rifle. AR does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite Rifle, which is the name of the company that makes it. Stop fucking telling everybody that we need to ban AR-15s because they aren't the fucking problem. The dumb fucking people that are getting a hold of these things are the fucking problem. Start banning them. Start vetting them. It'll get better.
sad factor is these days you never know who the hell's gonna crack. You know, it could be a situation like this where it's somebody who was, you know, showing signs of mental health or mental illness, but then there's ones that are kind of like, you know, creeping in the background, so to speak, and then they just snap and suddenly they're shooting up a supermarket or something, you know, all because of like racially motivated stuff. But I do find it, I will say this, and then I'll shut the fuck up too because I said enough about it. But I find it ironic that this shit does not happen until it is an election year.
I don't even see it happening then. What I see other people suggesting is putting a gun in the hands of the teachers. I'm sorry, but no. No.
That is a terrible idea in my mind.
Well, I can see certain teachers who have been trained in it, possibly. No, but hear me out. Like, I'm not talking about every teacher. I'm talking about the ones that they are trained in it, and it is locked away. They know where, like, you know, every school pick out like 5 teachers.
I know,
or whatever,
if I'm a teacher
and trained in it,
and I'm dealing with those little shitheads, and I've got a gun.
Well, first of all, if you're a teacher and your first thought is to shoot the kid,
Not the first thought, but
there's
a cracking point for everybody. Sorry, Heather, go ahead.
I had a teacher in my junior high school that found out one of my friends was part of the junior NRA and fucking damn near sicked a mob on her because he pinned her as the next one to be a Columbine type shooter. So no.
Wait, he picked her?
I mean, you're
Has
also
there ever
talking
even
about
been a
one
female?
teacher, you know, and I think that the majority of the teachers, they don't want that, the responsibility. They don't want to be armed. I think like one of the solutions is probably going to have to be every school is going to have a liaison, and the liaison is only going to be able to do so much. I mean, this school had one, and he didn't do anything.
He couldn't do anything.
Hey.
But go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Sorry, Heather.
Still able-bodied retired police officers or retired military members that do not have PTSD and therefore are still cleared to carry a gun that are unemployed right now.
I mean,
the thing is, it's all...
That's a solution.
Have them doors guarding the schools?
That's a solution.
It's not a solution. It's a potential deterrent. Deterrent. I mean, somebody who's going to shoot up a school, they're only really going to be active after the fact. I mean, the problem is, I look at this as like Pandora's box has been opened. It was opened back in Columbine, yeah, but for like the school mass shootings, it was opened back there. But the thing is, there's like it's not only just the fact that it's a terrible thing. It's the media attraction. And the amount of eyes on it, there's definitely that aspect to these young kids that feel neglected or fucking feel bullied or whatever the case is. And almost all of them will say that. Like every single fucking mass school shooting kid has been like, not the most popular kid, usually bullied, usually from a rough home or not treated well at home or perceives not being treated well. The bottom line is mental health, and the bottom line is we have done everything in our power to make this world terrible for the most amount of people.
But the problem is it's not just students that are shooting up schools anymore. It's outsiders. Like this kid, he obviously was not in elementary school. Sandy Hook obviously was not in elementary school. They're outsiders coming into the school, and I can't wrap my head around that.
There's I'm getting back at the people that did me wrong at the high school where they all laughed at me or whatever. At least I can make some sense of it. But going and shooting little kids is like, holy fucking Christ, man.
Not only that, but I have such a hard time wrapping my head around it because my daughter's school, her elementary school, you cannot get into that school during school hours unless you are buzzed in. Like they have a system in place where you have to literally ring the bell and there's a camera pointed right at your face. And unless they recognize who the fuck you are, you're not getting into that school. And I can't wrap my head around the fact that all schools don't have systems like that in place. Or maybe they did and maybe somebody let them in. I
can
don't
tell you
know.
though. after I had graduated high school and I was applying for
Last year.
college. Yeah, I'm a young little
He
guy.
wishes.
No, and I was applying for college. I had to get like my high school transcript or whatever, and I went in there, and they stopped me. Like I was able to get into the school and everything, but I was stopped in the hallway on my way, and he's like, "What are you here for?" Because I'm assuming like they know like I had a beard, and some kids have beards, but not a lot.
They did the same thing to me. When I
This
went
is
in,
better.
when Austin was in high school, and I was transferring him schools, and I had to go in and get like talk to the principal and have his transcripts transferred and all that stuff. The elementary school, because like my kids' schools they're connected, right? So because this is a small town, so it's like the elementary school is pretty much connected to the high school. There's no middle school. So I get buzzed in at the elementary school, and I'm like, you either take a left to go to the elementary office, or the office is right there. So I just kind of waved at him, and I took a right, and I went up towards the high school. As soon as I got down the main hallway of the high school, like I had a teacher stop me and be like, where are you heading to? And I said, well, I have an appointment at the office. They're expecting me. And she's like, were you buzzed in the elementary? And I said, yeah. And okay, but then she stood in the hallway and watched me walk to the office.
I also want to say, like, to JP's point with
yeah.
the guns and banning guns. Like, I mean, I live in Canada, so it's different. We have banned firearms for the most part. It doesn't, like, I don't see, that's not this, because there's a guy that got in a couple years ago, got in a van and mowed down like 15 people. So, like, there's always going to be, yeah, exactly. There's always, if you have the intent, you will find a way to, you can make a bomb with shit you find at Home Depot.
The thing is, it's not just
we as we spoke about with 3D printers like 10 episodes back. You can print.
Well, the gun is like one shot and done.
Gun that'll work for at least one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
it's like a Band-Aid solution in my mind. Do they think, oh, well, we get rid of guns, we're gonna fix this type of thing? You won't. I mean, here, my thing is, you got to do something at some point, though. Something has to be done. Because now it's like it's so bad because I start seeing this shit, and it's just commonplace. It should never be commonplace to see fucking 15 people getting shot up in a school.
First of all, America, I believe that this last shooting, I believe it put us up to like 401 mass shootings since the beginning of the year, which is fucking ridiculous. We're only we're at the end of the 5th month of this year, and we're at 401 mass shootings already. But yes, this last one was a school, and 8 to 10-year-olds, I can't even fucking imagine.
Like people sharing the pictures of the kids on Twitter and shit. There's so
yeah, like I can't imagine. But the sad fact is, it's happening in grocery stores, it's happening at concerts, movie theaters, everywhere.
Yeah. So when I hear, well, this doesn't happen in England, or this doesn't happen in France, or this doesn't happen in Germany, well, good for shit. Well, good for fucking you.
You know
for
what?
For some reason, here in the United States,
well,
people don't give a fuck. People don't they don't care.
No, but there is you have to look, and not just like I wish they'd stop just focusing on guns. Focus on the entirety of things. If your people are willing to throw their life away to kill everybody else en masse, then something is fucked up, and it's not an item you can get. It's inside you. And I look at like the quality of life for people, and even in my lifespan, the quality of life has gone down in terms of what is available, what you can afford, what you can do, things like that. Everything has become almost, we're at that pressing point now where there's the haves and the have-nots. There's no middle ground.
This latest one, things are starting to come out regarding like the police response to it, and I can't understand, because they didn't go into the school for an hour, and yes, I understand there was shooting and blah 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 blah, but that's their job. Meanwhile, they're outside for an hour, and there are 8 to 10-year-old children being murdered inside while they sit outside and try to figure out a plan. Like, I cannot wrap my head around that.
You know what? They're worried about their life too. Like,
I understand that, but that's their
just because you're a
fucking job.
policeman.
There are
No, but that's a lot to
there
ask of
are
somebody.
children. Then don't become a fucking cop. If you are not willing to put
I
it
think a
all
lot
on
of
the
people that have
line,
become a cop aren't
here's
doing
the
it
thing.
because they thought they'd always be a cop.
Here's the thing. If you're not willing to put your life on the line for somebody else, then you should not be a fucking cop. That's your job.
We don't know the whole story.
You don't know the whole
And I
story.
can
I'm
almost
just
guarantee
saying,
that there was
as for right now, I'm super confused about it.
So, okay,
There's protocols in place.
That everybody's pissed at the fucking cops because they didn't fucking go in there.
They were probably told not to.
Let's not blame the cops. They were probably told not to fucking do anything because they didn't know where this kid was and they didn't want their people getting hurt.
Well, I understand that.
I understand.
I'm not trying to like throw judgment on the police because I understand that there's a lot of factors that go into this. I'm trying to wrap my head around what happened, and I won't be able to wrap my head fully around it. I won't be able to wrap my head around it until more information is brought forth. Like, and if it comes out that they were told by the commanding officer that they couldn't enter. Okay, because like if they're told by a commander, they literally their hands are tied. They can't do anything unless they want to lose their job.
Guarantee, like the way they handle that, any situation where there's an active shooter, it will be up to the commanding officer or someone that's telling the commanding officer what to do.
I also say that if that commanding officer ordered them to not go into that school while all those little babies were slaughtered, I say that commanding officer's job should be gone.
I actually think they were already dead at this point.
Well, there's also the question of, you said it yourself, this school had some security measures in place. Was it that the doors had to be buzzed open? Because if that's the case, then they might have waited an hour to be sure that somebody could get over there to open the doors for them without getting hurt.
There's got to be like a system in place to override that.
I don't know how that works, but I know like in my daughter's school, not only does the office have a buzzer in there that automatically opens the door, but they also have at least 4 different buzzers in different areas of the school in case there's nobody in the office, so that another teacher or
you got to think of the
situation, whatever, can make it to that button.
You got to think of the situation. There is known that there were shots fired. They have probably no idea of the casualty count because who's counting heads at the school when this kind of thing is happening? You know what I mean?
No. Here's the thing that you got to factor into this as well. This shooter got locked in one classroom. All of these students were in one classroom, so it's not like he was walking around the school
did they know?
Shooting up the school. He was locked in one classroom.
Do the cops know this? Arriving on the scene, it would take a certain amount of time.
Kids were calling 911 this entire time, begging the cops to come in and telling them where he was.
So I think that it's a very chaotic situation, and they might have mishandled it. I don't know the full, but I know any situation like that, everybody's going to be lost.
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear more about that because right now my mind is just like I can't wrap my head around it.
I'm still not going to blame the cops for it.
I mean, if it comes out that they took way longer after having available information,
the reason I can blame the commanding officer is because fucking people get killed. Then he has to explain
to their
families why they got killed.
I mean, I can't blame the commanding officer.
It's a lose-lose situation.
There's one person to blame. And then beyond that, it's everybody else that participated in making his life hell or whatever.
Here's what I think, too. I think back when Columbine happened, okay? And I realized that this was back in the late 90s, okay? But when Columbine happened, I was at home from school sick that day. So I watched it all happen on the news, live action right there. Not one time did I see those officers hesitate. The whole fucking day, they were going back and forth into that school, getting kids out and getting kids to safety. Every other school shooting that I have seen on TV, it has been the same way. Yeah. They were in the school. They were getting kids to safety as quickly and as safely as possible.
You do realize, though, because I did a paper on this for college. For criminology class, I think I did it for sociology, something I can't remember.
Criminology was awesome.
Them kids killed themselves, so the cops were able to come in to the school.
Yes, but they didn't know that. They did not know
after everything was over.
They did not know that those kids were dead until almost all of the kids were out of the school.
But they did not enter that school.
They did. I watched it live on the news.
I'm gonna tell you, I can't say anything unless I was fucking there. Honestly, like
watched it on the news, like they
but the news,
they kept on saying no, but like they were doing interviews with like the police sergeant or whatever, and they were saying, they were screaming out, "We don't know where the shooters are. We don't know where the shooters are." Like I watched all of it.
No, like I mean, for this specific instance, I can't sit here and pass judgment on something I know very little about, so I will not. I will say I'll wait till more information comes out, and even then, it's a world apart of listening to people talk about it and news reporting about it than being there.
Yeah, and Silent Gamer in the chat said, didn't they say the doors weren't locked to begin with? I'm not sure about that, honestly.
I haven't.
Timestamps of everything that happened.
The problem with this thing is, after seeing or understanding what happened, I did not want to look at any of it, to be honest.
It's a tragedy. All I'm gonna say is this is a tragedy, and for all you fucking people that thoughts and prayers to the families, because what do you want me to do? You want me to write my congressman? They don't fucking answer.
I feel like people kind of like I can see like there's a process in place. You've seen the memes. Fucking something terrible happens. Thoughts and prayers on social media. Everybody forgets something terrible happens.
And I think that's why people are lashing out against people with like thoughts and prayers, and they shouldn't be.
Well, thoughts and prayers now is like, how sincere are you really?
Literally, this is why I say fuck you to those people. I literally had somebody tell me, write your congressman. You know what? I have written my congressman, and they don't fucking respond because they don't fucking care.
Because
they do not fucking care.
I think
the only thing they care about is sitting in a fucking office and gaining power. They don't care. They don't care.
I think that a lot of people
isn't fucking gonna solve a goddamn fucking thing.
I think a lot of people, especially, after this last one where it's babies, and you saw the same thing happen after Sandy Hook when it was babies, and that strikes a different chord with people. And I think that like the people that are lashing out about this, well, thoughts and prayers aren't going to help anybody. They're fed up with it, just like the rest of us are. They're taking it out on the wrong people. The people that are saying I'm sending my thoughts and prayers, 9 times out of 10, they genuinely mean that. Like they care about what is happening. Yeah, like
I feel like
they
sometimes
care about what is happening, and it's not like we just want to sit back and be like, "Oh, well, thoughts and prayers, I don't care." That's not the case.
I feel like most people don't even know if they're in a situation where they have to say something. It's kind of like what you go to, because most of the time, I'll be honest with you, some fucking horrible shit happens in my life or people around me. I don't really know what to say. And you go to like that as like they're not going to take it wrong, but I have no idea what else to say. Anything else I'm going to say, it might either come out wrong or I open up a can of worms.
That's the problem. People that say that might be sincere.
Yeah.
And everybody comes.
But it's such
people are.
I mean. Look.
It's such a carbon copy thing that I think that's why people like it. It's low, like it's literally become a meme. So it's definitely a carbon copy thing.
I've never seen that meme, and I literally don't fucking care. Because when I say it, I sincerely fucking mean it.
That's good.
If somebody dies, like if a friend of mine's father dies, my thoughts and prayers are with you. What do you want me to fucking do? Go tell God, hey, bring him back. The kid wants his dad back.
Yes.
There's nothing I can do.
No, the two options I look at is say nothing, because I don't need to tell everybody on Twitter that I'm thinking and praying, because they don't need to fucking know. It has nothing to do with them. And sometimes putting that out there just is the
So-
why are you saying this to people that don't need to hear it? Just do it.
Read the room.
Right. So
Maybe
Kind
you
of.
never know. You never know. See, and this is where I how do you know?
right.
Because,
So,
because
like-
I do see, and I've seen it. Like they talked to a couple people on Fox News, and they've said, "I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers," because at this time, that's all. What can we do?
Yeah, no, there's
What I
literally
do
nothing
have
else.
to say, what I do have to say is what fucking what's his name? I can't remember his first name, but that Beto, what he did, completely uncalled for. Like completely fucking uncalled for. That was just like an attention grab because he's running for governor, senator, whatever the fuck it is for the state of Texas.
The one fucking person that needed to unite a country, and all he did was politicize the fuck out of the issue.
Well,
He
Well,
politicized.
I found it.
That motherfucker politicized 19 kids and 19 children and 2 people
Yeah.
just to get his fucking agenda. Fuck you, you cunt.
Well,
That's
and that was
politics. That's
basically what I was
politics.
getting at too.
in a fucking
But it was
nutshell.
I think that he was thinking that it was going to gain him popularity, but instead it happened the opposite way
Nailed it.
because people saw it as being so disrespectful because you're doing this at a press conference where they are literally going to be talking about the victims who are children and 2 teachers, and you are using this as your platform to gain popularity. Like, fuck you, dude. I hope that
Politics
you
is so
get
grubby. Honestly, it's the
an
nastiest,
incurable case of crabs.
the
Like,
scummiest fucking
I-
bunch of people aligned with the
No,
news
legitimately,
and media,
that
which
you
is
can't get much
pretty much the
scummier
same.
than that.
Hollywood. They're fucking kids.
Okay, so Alpha says worst part about it is you got people, regardless of how little they know, are still gonna say shit anyway. They simply refuse to shut the fuck up and let anything get done. And then Silent Gamer says when the gunman arrived at the school, he hopped its fence and easily entered through the back door that had been propped open. See, my daughter's school has had issues with that, and they cracked down on it within this past couple of years. But the teachers, it used to get hot in the school.
Yeah, they
So
do
the
do it
teachers
in the,
would
like
pop
the gym.
open the back door. You know, so
System.
yeah, and if you have a door, side door, back door, whatever, if you have that propped open, then what the fuck good is the security system gonna do ya?
Yeah, I mean,
know?
the thing is, like, the last thing you expect is somebody to come in and shoot 10-year-olds. But hey, it happened. To Alpha's
Well,
point,
that's the world we're living in today.
but the thing is, it is not. It does happen, but it's like, look how many fucking people live in America. So you can't,
Yeah.
like, it is, though the number is appalling at 400 and whatever, it's not like I'm going to walk out and expect to be killed by a teenager with a gun.
And to answer Gina's
Right.
earlier question, the whole reason why psychological asylums or
And they had some
psycho
bad
prisons
shit
were
going
shut
on.
down, those prisoners were used as medical experiments a lot of
Well, yeah,
times
that-
against their
Yeah,
will.
that wasn't the real reason why most of them got shut down. The real reason why most of them got shut down is because there was a lack of funding and they didn't have enough money to properly
well, I
take care
mean,
of those people.
The one system that
in general,
the
so.
one system
They were guinea pigs. Yeah, they were guinea pigs.
the one system that really needs financial funding is the medical system. But like, I it blows my mind when I hear about like, like, say what you want. America has a ton of money going into military, like the most going into the military, and very little of. I mean, they still put money towards hospitals and shit like that. But it's just not like you can't.
No,
I don't know. It's
What
fucked up.
kicks my fanny? What I get a kick out of is, and again, I understand what's going on in Ukraine right now. I understand it's horrible. Like, it is fucking horrible. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. But we have all these problems over here, and people are hurting so fucking bad over here, whether it be our mental health systems, our healthcare systems, people in general that are barely making it floating above water. but we're sending all this money to Ukraine.
Don't even get me started on that. Fucking, you want to talk about some money being sent? Fucking Justin Trudeau, the cunt monster. He sends so much fucking money everywhere else. Literally, you go to Toronto, you're walking over people lying on the ground, and most people like average house cost here is fucking $800,000. Go ahead and
starting to creep up.
Go ahead and send money to fucking some random place. I get it; they need help, but you can't. You have to at least do something for every. Like you can't ignore your own country and send money out constantly. Like it just doesn't work for me. I fucking hate it.
We have so many problems here. Medical system, or like right now, like I said, people are with inflation and everything, people are scraping by. We have the homeless problem we have for fucking years. There's so many problems here, but time after time after time, America is very similar to Canada, where we are sending our money everywhere else except here.
Yeah, but we've got like
and
a
that's
guy
why
that
honestly
cosplays as fucking every country in the world.
Well, honestly, that's why people liked Trump, because, and I understand that there's a lot of people out there that don't like Trump. Whatever, you like him, you don't. I don't give a fuck. But when Trump was in office, he was focusing.
Hate him.
He was focusing a lot more on the American people and spending our money on the American people, and making products that were made by American people, so that we weren't so reliant on other countries. And I'm veering off to the left here, but regardless, you guys see my point. Like, it's all tied together. Whether it's a school shooting that's resulting from mental illness, or it's a homeless person on the street, it's all interwebbed together. It's all fucking.
I mean, the problem is, like, nobody's actually tackling the issue. It's the blame game, and then it's the forget game, and then it's the repeat game. And that's pretty much what happens all around. DJ Curtis, it was his birthday last night. I did say, or I think after midnight. So I said happy birthday then, but happy birthday again.
Happy birthday.
21 is a big milestone.
Happy
Don't worry,
birthday.
eventually be old like me.
21. Oh my
He said in
God,
the chat, he was like, I'm not feeling so hot. I'm like, oh, maybe he was sick. And he's like, I drank way too much. Like, well, good man.
That's when I said Pedialyte is your best friend. Like,
Alpha, I was talking about Biden.
yeah, fuck Biden.
He's the only one that could have united the country and not politicized the fucking issue.
I don't even think he knows where he is half the time.
Let's go, Brandon. That's all I have to say about that.
But yeah, that was a heavy topic. In all honesty, I didn't have a graphic.
No, I know. I kind of figured it was going to be something that we were going to cross the bridge at some point. So I figured, let's just get that away.
Well, I mean,
Obama's the one. Let's not forget about George Floyd.
Yeah, but I mean, summing that all up, does anybody have any ideas of what can be done?
All of the military personnel that is out of work right now and close to homelessness because they're out of work, but they can't serve the military anymore.
It's not a solution. It's a solution, but I don't think
it's not a full solution.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I don't think that there is any one.
There's not.
There isn't a solution.
No
like
solution.
I said, Pandora's box has been opened. You'd have to change the world we live in to change that problem. In all honesty, that's what has to happen.
I mean, that's why I asked if anybody had all different solutions, because it's obviously going to take different solutions.
If the Republicans actually brought that forward, we don't want to spend the money on that. But you want to spend money on forcing everybody to turn in all their guns, because you have to fucking pay those people to fucking turn their guns in. They ain't just gonna fucking turn them in, man.
The problem is too, when it comes to like I don't know, the government and money allocation. It's all, like, don't even get me started. But Connor, I think you had a point because you put up that thingy.
So I purposely kept quiet about this because I try to choose my words very carefully when it comes to almost anything. After, even before I was doing the OK Fabe stuff, even during that, I made sure to choose my words carefully, not necessarily in fear of saying necessarily the wrong thing, but more making sure that I was conveying what I wanted to convey accurately. That being said, as far as the solution, and I was just spitballing this off the top of my head when I was having this conversation with somebody else about the whole shooting thing. And granted, I will say a couple of very quick points. I do agree a lot with what JP said. Actually, I agree very, very much so with the do not blame the guns. You're right. You cannot blame the guns. And there's actually a fantastic American Dad skit of all shows that did a great job of illustrating this point. He's like, his daughter was like, "Oh, people, guns kill people." He's like, "Really? Huh? Okay." He puts the gun on the table. Goes, "Okay, gun, kill."
And it just sat there.
And it just sat there. He's like, "No, wait. Let's just see. Go ahead, kill." And I can't argue. I can't argue that whatsoever. There are other things I could get into, but I don't want to take up too much more time with this. But what I was saying was, have you ever been to a grocery store where you cannot take the shopping carts out of the parking lot to a certain extent until it gets magnetized and it can't move anymore?
No.
You never had that before.
We have like the lock that you put like.
It's kind of like that. So
Yeah.
in some supermarkets, at least up here in New England anyway, there have been to prevent theft of shopping carts. They put some sort of magnetization in them, so once they reach a certain point away from the store, they cannot be operated on. So what I was going to say was, and I get it, they probably wouldn't be able to do this with older guns, but why not be able to implement some sort of advancement that shuts down those things within certain distances of certain types of buildings, specifically government buildings or schools or whatever have you. Obviously have registered ones that are there for defense purposes, but have some sort of
basically being like a no-shoot zone.
Here.
Yeah, no, but that's
There's no problem with that.
not
because
impossible.
If you remember the army guy, or was he? He was a soldier of some type. He left, got a civilian gun, came back to the base, and started killing people on the base.
Okay.
And that was the base he was stationed at. So you could, you could run into another situation like that where
I think what you're saying, or at least what I'm getting from what you're saying, is have you ever seen like a video game map where you can't do something in a certain zone? That's basically it. Have a no-shoot zone put on there. The only people that would be able to operate firearms would be the police.
Correct.
The problem is that's a really good idea, but the problem is every single gun would have to be equipped with whatever device
it would solve the issue moving forward.
There's so many.
And I understand.
But then again, you can modify a weapon.
Out there right now.
Right, and I understand that there's ways around it. It
would have to be to the point where if you modified it, the gun was entirely deactivated. I don't know. It's almost like the technology needs to exist.
Yes, and I understand
this may be really stupid, but it just came to my brain. But what if you would create like a magnetism type thing where, because like,
no,
but like not within the gun itself, but within the building itself. So like if somebody fired a weapon, the bullet would be sucked up to the ceiling instead of going.
Ooh, I don't know how that level of magnetism. Kids would be sucked up to the ceiling with belts on. Well, we actually killed the entire school this time with magnets.
It's a good idea.
I can attest, Basement. Body piercings will not be pulled up because the metal used for those type of piercings is non-magnetized.
Oh, okay. But any metal object.
You have somebody that walks in there with like a fake knee or something, and they're getting.
I feel like the eventually technology, like Connor's point, makes the most sense for the future if the technology can get there. Because how many kids are, even if you could get behind it and hack it and get away with it, I don't know if they'd be able to do it or have the hardware to do it. It's a deterrent. Everything's a deterrent, but there's no actual solution. The problem is within people.
I was also going to agree with Basement's point of that too. Is that they're really realistically, there's no permanent solution. Even if I agreed with the notion, and humor me here, even if I agreed with the notion of banning all guns whatsoever, even if that was the case, you really wouldn't put a stop full board on other things and certain things happening. Basement's right. There is no permanent solution to this. There's ways
so
that you
many
can do
illegal
deterrence and
guns.
curb.
I'll tell you, if they ban all guns, you will see the overthrow of a government.
and not
don't
only, because
know
there's so
if that's true. I mean, there's
Well,
so many
here's the thing,
examples of
Basement.
gunless countries that don't have that happening.
Time out. Okay, but here's the problem. The United States has the highest level of unregistered guns in the entire world. There are constantly illegal guns coming over the border, nonstop, constantly. So if you ban all guns, you are essentially taking guns away from people that know how to use them and are using them for the right purposes
Correct.
and can defend places,
Right.
and you're replacing them with people with ill intentions.
My biggest worry is if I put myself just theoretically, I don't have a gun, right? But if I was in a place where I had if I had a family and if somebody broke into the house, the first thing I would want in my hand is a fucking gun. You call the cops, they ain't coming fucking in 1 second.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I was raised around guns. JP, you were probably also raised around guns.
Yeah.
Heather, probably you as well.
Okay.
I was raised around guns. I feel safe around guns, but the reason why I feel safe around guns is because I was taught very, very well at an early age by my parents that you do not touch that gun unless you absolutely have to. And the only way that you have to touch that gun is if it is in self-defense. That is it. But there's so many people these days that have guns. They're keeping them in places that are not considered safe. They're not in a lockbox. They're out in the open. They're underneath the mattress.
There's so many people out there that have kids that have no idea, don't care. I mean, there's those people that left their kids in a house for fucking years and fed them garbage.
And that's what I'm saying. You have people that have guns that are very irresponsible with them, and on top of that, those same people don't give a fuck about their kids.
Yes. It's a people problem.
So their kids are having all these issues.
And people aren't perfect. People are horribly flawed. Sometimes the one thing you have to do is you can put in measures to help stop, or not stop, but dissuade people from doing things. But you can never. The problem can never be stopped because the problem is a person problem. And people can't be fixed.
Correct. You guys might disagree with me on here, but the last thing I'll say about this, and I swear to God, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, but what's happening in Michigan with the school shooting from last year and the parents being prosecuted, I completely, wholeheartedly, and 110% supportive of that, because the parents, they had those guns. They were not locked up. They knew that their kid had fucking problems. And they didn't do anything in order to keep the guns away from their children. So in cases like that, I am 110% in support of charging the parents, grandparents, guardians, whatever.
In this case, you can't, because that kid was 18 years old. And
obviously, in this case, yes. But in cases like that where there's a school shooting or a minor shooting anybody in general, if it comes back to the point where it was the parents' gun and that gun was not locked up somewhere safe where the children could not get a hold of it, then prosecute the parents.
Is that going to dissuade and fix the problem?
There's no fixing the problem.
It may not fix the problem, but it is a ring in the chain that needs to be fixed, because parents need to start fucking taking responsibility for things that their children are doing. Because if their children are under the age of 18, ultimately that is on the parent if the child is acting out, because the parent needs to be a fucking parent.
To an extent.
Agreeing with you.
You know what I mean. I'm not talking about extreme cases where the kid's fucking running away or some shit like that.
No. I just also know that kids, lie.
The thing is,
kids act out and they lie, but you know the extent of where I'm going with this.
I get where you're going from.
I mean, if there's obvious neglect and non-caring, then that's a different. That's like a social service issue, and should
it's another fucking topic that.
that we don't want to. We're not going to get into. We're not going to get into because we'll never leave it.
Dive down there because the whole social services system is just all sorts of fuck.
I think certain things there's things that need to start happening to not fix the problem but lower the number.
Yes.
If you go on next year and you go from 400 to 380, that's moving in the right direction. It's like anything else. Nothing changes overnight. You can't fix a problem all at once. Something needs to be done, but
I'll also be honest that the whole pointing to mental health thing is a little frustrating in the sense of
we're not all crazy.
We are all crazy, but we're not like even if you're like it seems to be like a blanket statement where it stops conversation
sometimes.
It stops conversation as well, like mental health. It's like,
I agree completely with what Connor is saying because, like, you're telling me, okay, Connor, tell me if I'm wrong, but like in my case, you're telling me that just because I'm bipolar, that means that I'm at a higher level of a risk of hurting somebody. I would never fucking hurt anybody in my entire life.
I want to stress that I'm not saying that this person did not have mental issues. He fucking clearly did to be able to.
He didn't get help for those.
To even consider doing something absolutely unforgivable and horrific. But my point is that and this is maybe just my opinion from this side of things, I feel that when it comes to having deeper conversations about issues like that, in terms of like mass shootings and even to an extent gun control laws, because of situations like this, mental health or the excuse that I shouldn't say excuse, but the fact that the person had mental issues becomes a more prominent part of the conversation that I think is not, I don't want to say not necessary, but it feels like it's a scapegoat sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the guy did a heinous act regardless.
When I said he was mentally ill,
you're not wrong.
Yeah. Dude, this guy was fucked in the head.
He was at the psychotic level.
You're not in the mental norm if you think about shooting a bunch of people.
They're mentally fucked in the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that
it's the issue I'm talking about, like bipolar. It's probably going to be tough for Gina to get a gun because she's bipolar.
Actually, I have 7.
I already might have one, but it's not harder for me. But that's the thing. It should be harder.
If they do pass a law, that's what they're going to go for. That's what they're going to do. They're going to say anybody that has any sort of mental illness or they're going to push for. I mean, if you have bipolar disease, they're going to say you need to turn your gun in.
I will honestly say that I think every single person that is alive is on a spectrum.
Yeah. But
I don't think there's such thing as not being on there because like everybody experiences certain things and what's the perfect mindset? Nobody has it.
Everybody experiences a certain form of depression or anxiety or something like that in their life. But I think
sometimes it can get really bad.
The situation that needs to be discussed is not necessarily just the blanket form of mental health.
That's kind of where
what needs to be discussed is the people that have mental health issues that are taking no actions to try to get
I think it's also
better, but try to help it.
Identifying
they're not
mental health because you can't just say mental health issues because then you're just lumping them all together and it's so wrong.
That's it right there. Because here's the fucked up part. I don't know if you guys know this. I was diagnosed as what do you call it?
Crazy
manic
shit?
depressive.
Oh, sorry.
No, fuck you. I was diagnosed originally as manic depressive, manic depressive disorder, which basically means that I just get really sad sometimes for no real reason, and like when I say really sad, I don't mean like, oh, I'm sad. I mean like I'm in a fucking hole sad, right? But now with the new guidelines that they have for mental health, that is now diagnosed as bipolar 2.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's
in
going
my
to be
opinion, is really fucked up. It's really, really fucked up because So you're telling me that just because I get like super duper sad and I kind of hate myself sometimes, that I'm in the same fucking group as somebody that has bipolar schizophrenia or somebody that has bipolar 1, which is a completely different
Right.
fucking...
I think it's also like a lot of it lies on you can get diagnosed something and not 100% be it or have it.
Exactly.
I mean, doctors are like, I mean, how many people have fucking they have inadvertently killed a lot of people with
And you know, I don't...
not prescribing the right things or assuming someone has something because everything, man, fucking most of the time I've been to a doctor, to be honest with you, I know they fucking leave the room to go check fucking Doctorpedia
I'm gonna
online.
be
I
honest.
swear to God.
I'm gonna be honest, like in my
Right, MD.
situation, all of the medications that they tried me on, none of them helped. None of them fucking helped. They made me feel like a zombie, and it got to the point where I realized that the only person that could actually help me was me. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not medicated right now, but I don't need to be because I recognize my symptoms. But not everybody is gonna be that way. Like, not everybody is gonna take the time to go to therapy, you know, and be able to realize or recognize your symptoms and know what to do in that situation.
And I also understand that they're trying that we're trying to find a common denominator, a common factor, a common thread in these issues and these instances. And I'm not denying that every single one of these incidences or these moments of these horrific events didn't have someone who was clearly not in the right frame of mind as a quote unquote normal person would be. And I say quote unquote because obviously normal, but I think
Yeah,
I
what's
think
normal?
yeah, right. But I think that's really the whole
The common
the whole
denominator I see is
problem that I have with it is just like, oh, it's mental health. Well, it's like, well, depression, like there is such a wide spectrum of it now.
Yeah.
And
the other thing too is like you put such a bad connotation on anybody that does like it automatically is like
it spins it the wrong
people
way.
are gonna look at you and be like, oh, I hope you don't
Yep.
shoot up this place. It's like, what the fuck, man? Nothing has
So,
nothing to do with this.
What
But-
the extreme left is going to fight for.
And I think that like people are just, a lot of times you don't take a step back and realize that it's pure evil in some people. You know, I mean, it's not even necessarily mental illness. It's just mental. It's bad
I mean,
thoughts.
I look at these
and just evil intentions. Like, they just want to hurt people, not because they're fucked in the brain or because of it. Some people are just evil.
I look at these school shooters at least, and all of them, they're young, and I don't think they like as I once being a young man, I can you don't actually think about repercussions of anything. Repercussions don't necessarily exist to that extent. So like you think this is it. This is like you're more willing to do something a bit more like fatalistic, like not caring to the point of like having 40 years in jail. You can't fathom it. You don't understand that.
So Aaron put in there with autism because he has autism, I guess. Okay. Under what I'm pretty sure the left is going to push for, the Democrats are going to push for, yes, you would not be able to get a gun.
It depends.
And actually,
right now, even with depending on how strong or how weak on the spectrum you are of it, you would probably have issues now to try and get a gun.
because autism is on the mental health illness
You know
checklist.
how to use a gun, and you know that how to properly handle, carry.
I feel like I would be hesitant.
Biden and his cronies don't give two fucking shits if you can do that. If you have any sort of mental,
I mean, I would be hesitant to give a gun.
You're gonna be like, you can't carry a gun. This is the way we're gonna fight this problem. Is
I mean,
you have a mental health problem, you can't carry a gun.
I personally would be hesitant to give a gun to somebody that has like like extreme mood changes, more for their own sake, I guess. But like, I mean, if they have a gun, what's the difference between them having a gun and a ton of pills?
There is one
'Cause they're
last thing
probably
that I
gonna
want
only
to
hurt
talk
themselves.
about with this. There's one last thing that I want to talk about, or what I want to say rather, with this whole thing, and it's
I think
have
that's
been
the phrase of
hearing.
the night, because if everyone says that one more time, I'm going
I
to start
know,
taking
right?
shots every time someone says
I
that. and I'm
know.
gonna be
There's only
fucking
one thing I
wasted.
have left to say
But
after Gina.
it came into my head like just whatever. But I have been hearing a lot. Oh well, this kid was trans. This kid was trans. No wonder he did it. No, him being transsexual has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he walked in to be a shooter. Okay, not all transsexuals, bisexuals, LGBTQ community. Not all of them are fucking evil. Okay, so shut the fuck up and sit the fuck
Frustrating.
down. Like, it's so frustrating because it turns into like from like obvious hate of where it should be, which is towards the shooter.
Hey, I also hate these people. Hate them too.
It turns into hate of everybody. And the same thing happened a couple weeks ago with the grocery store shooting. With that one, it was, oh, well, this kid's a racist, so fuck all the white people. I can't do it anymore. Stop fucking blaming people just because one person happens to be something, okay? You cannot lump people together like that because that's the fucking problem.
Is anyone else just tired of the world at this point?
Yeah,
Yes.
1 trillion%.
Like, I'm not going to lie, and this is just me spitballing just from this. It's like, fuck. Like, that's
can't.
honestly, like,
It's like,
do
I
not,
just
like,
can't anymore with you, world.
do not misunderstand me that, like, I do not, like, my heart doesn't break for the families and the kids and everything that happened, but, like, one of my instinct reactions is like, I'm really am
done.
just sick of the world.
Like, I'll tell you right now,
All this shit.
like, mentally, slowly checking out of the world.
I'm not sick of the world. I'm not sick of everyday living, but I'm sick and tired of the bullshit in it.
Yeah, and that's why
You know what I'm
like,
sick
the
and
best
tired
thing
of
you could
more
ever
than
do
anything?
is don't go on social media, don't go on fucking news,
I
don't go
was
on any
just
of
gonna
it.
say that is the one thing that I am so sick of.
And
is
you
the
won't know
fucking
of the
media.
horrors.
Need
Makes
every
me want
now and
to live in a Marvel movie.
then to see what y'all are talking about, but I don't. During work, I try to stay away from social media. I mean, I get on there every once in a while.
We know
and-
you get on there.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, we see your arguments on Twitter.
Bullshitter.
If I could say one more thing, and then I'll be it.
It happened again.
Someone get a Pee-wee's Playhouse, like, ah, like every time fucking says that.
We can move on to the next subject. Look. It sucks what happened. It's a terrible tragedy. We have got to learn how to.
We have to learn how to talk to each other again.
Yes, we have to learn how to talk to each other. We can't just
And how to actually care.
sweep it under the rug and say, "Well, I'm on this issue. I'm on this side of this issue. I'm on this." That's fine. Let's talk about and meet somewhere in the middle somewhere, because somewhere in the middle there is something. There's something that can be done. Her solution,
Yes.
I've had it for fucking years. Connor, your solution makes sense, but it's really hard to do.
I know, and I know that, but I do like your. I do like your solution as well.
The government will say, "Well, I don't want to spend the money." Well, you don't care.
I don't
Alright.
trust the government at all. Last thing I'm going to say, thoughts and prayers. Let's move on.
That's my word. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say is just that my heart breaks because they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last thing. No.
My last thing
No,
is
shut the fuck up!
everybody in the world needs to learn how to talk to each other, care about each other, and stop being fucking cunt bags. That's it.
Connor left.
Also, fuck you, basement.
Hey guys, here comes the cat.
No, he's gone again.
Kitty.
We got like 500 more topics.
It is,
Do
there
you know
are
that?
countries. The last thing I'm going to say on it is there are countries that already do have countrywide gun bans. England being one of them.
I was
and they
beaten with a
still have
stick.
their officers wearing bulletproof vests because there are still guns in England.
So I do want to read one more thing.
Oh no.
Some
my
of you heard this last night. Like I know Basement and Connor. I read this last night.
I'm gonna
And it's
shoot a
in the
beef eater.
message, and then we'll move on.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's never gonna end.
No, it's not.
No, this has nothing to do with that. The price of gas is too high.
Oh, yes.
Food costs are too high.
Fucking yes.
There is no baby formula. The cost of wood is outrageous. These are some of the things that you may hear over this Memorial Day weekend. I want you all to take a moment and look at another perspective on the issue. You live in a country where you can amass enough wealth to own a car and to fill it with gas. In many countries, this is an unachievable dream.
I mean, it's
This has been made
unachievable to some
possible.
people here, but okay.
This has been made possible by the ultimate price paid by those who we celebrate on Memorial Day, that they never complained about that cost. You live in a country where you have food. There are even places that will feed you for free if it becomes a need. Those lost to freedom paid the price for that. Many places around the world see their people die from starvation every day. No baby formula. The fact we live in a country that has access to alternate food sources for babies is amazing and available in whatever quantity would not be possible without the sacrifices made by many. So everybody complaining about baby formula, there are other resources out there that you can get to feed your baby.
But how will I feed?
Like what?
I don't know those resources, but they are out there.
Basement's milk.
You live in a
Are they?
country where you can live in a
Milk me,
house and
milk me,
you own
bitch.
it. Again, there are many countries.
Shut up,
who
please.
don't- There are many countries who don't have those, who sacrifice. This is where I don't fucking know what he fucking put here. I think he was supposed to put something here, but he said, who sacrifice for freedom to give them the opportunity to own a home or use wood to build one. I think he was talking about the people where countries where that's not possible.
I can't use wood. It's too
I
expensive.
mean, there's so many. There's so many things in this that I can say.
We all have the right and freedom to complain about our situation. If we live somewhere else, that type of complaint could end in death. As you reflect on things this Memorial Day, remember that the freedoms we enjoy came at a cost. You fucking cunt. Came at a cost.
Was that in there?
Did not hesitate to sacrifice. No, a thing keeps popping up because they're changing over shit. I'm using my work computer for this. We have it pretty good because of them. Enjoy the long weekend and stay safe. It's not wrong.
Yeah, well, it's more about getting perspective because, I mean, though there is like life in the world kind of sucks. I'd rather live my life now than go and live in the fucking World War II.
Well, here's the thing. It's everything that he said was true, but you know, a lot of the stuff that they consider attainable is not attainable for a certain percentage of Americans. However,
anything is attainable. Anything is attainable if you put your mind to it.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Man,
is
I put
it
my
really
mind
because
to
I've
it
been
and I
trying to
never
fathom
got
up a
what I
fucking
got.
house for years, but I can't. Yeah, I've been trying to fathom up a fucking house, but I can't abracadabra myself a fucking house. You know?
I can tell you right now, I put my mind to it and I kept getting
people-
beaten down and then I got sick. So
Well, that's
it was.
the thing. Some
I can
people
bounce.
were
I can
sick, or
bounce
they had,
back.
you know, but I mean,
some way.
JP, I completely understand like the sentiment of everything that you said because it's true. It was true, but like a lot of it is a very much like 1950s, like the American dream. That's the American dream, but the American dream is still attainable, but it's just harder to attain.
The
these
American
days.
dream is a fallacy.
But regardless of which, I still have all the respect in the world for our soldiers, and especially the men and women that, you know, gave their life. Because if not for them, like you said, we wouldn't have the freedom to sit here.
the
and
American
bitch
dream
about
is
our
the-
circumstances.
The point of that message is exactly it's
Be thankful for what you have
try to achieve it. The American dream
and
is
where you live.
honestly, I believe the American dream is honestly trying to achieve said things.
The American dream is
Yeah, we have the
essentially.
option to choose what we want to.
Yeah, but the actual American dream and what it is
Dead.
It's a fallacy. I mean, you get it, and you're still unhappy because it has nothing to do with your actual happiness. The American
This coming
dream.
from the Canadian.
Well, no, the American dream. It's the core of fucking. What's that book by Fitzgerald?
Excuse me.
Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio was in the movie recently.
Great Gatsby.
Yeah,
Wall Street?
no, Great Gatsby is completely about the American dream, and they're all fucked in that shit.
You know,
Never mind.
It's about
the
getting.
sentiment is still there. It's the fact that we have the freedom to choose where our life goes. And yes, I understand there's medical
That's
issues
not
and
the
all
American
the stuff
dream,
that.
really. But that
Well,
is
it is.
what
No,
that was
but that's
about.
the new. That's the new age American dream, because while we face challenges, we still have the freedom to be able to choose what we do.
I guess
from
my
here.
understanding of the American dream is a literary term, not necessarily like.
You're thinking the white picket fence,
Because you're not
the
American.
1.5 kids. Yeah, that's the American dream you're
Yeah.
thinking.
Yes.
Yeah,
The nuclear
and-
family.
And in that aspect, that's what I was saying is like very much like the 1950s version of the American dream, because that dream at that time was attainable. It's still attainable these days. It's just much, much fucking harder. But you still have the chance to always strive toward attaining it. So, and we wouldn't have that if not for our soldiers and our veterans that died. So,
I mean, I was always under the impression that the American dream was dusty roads.
That is true. But are you more inclined to have
JP,
a
I'm sorry.
Velveteen dream?
I didn't mean to like shit on that or anything, because it was
Well,
beautiful.
the message is just being conveyed. You could have it worse. That's all it's saying.
Yeah,
You can always
yeah.
have it worse.
True
Yeah,
that.
100%. Like
I mean,
dawned on
pretty
me.
much everybody on this call at some point in time has had it worse than we have it right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
It
get
dawned on
it.
me
Yeah.
like halfway through what I was
Shit.
saying, and I'm like, I'm coming off as a complete douchebag, and that was not my intentions at all. So I apologize.
No. You're. I mean, you're not wrong. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
The only thing that this message really conveyed was that it could be worse.
Mhm.
It could be worse, and it would definitely be worse if not
could
for the
be
men and women that
bratwurst.
gave their lives for us to have our freedom. So
Thoughts and prayers.
remember that on Monday.
Thoughts and prayers. You should get that
So-
on a shirt.
Prayers.
So now that
Thoughts
we're on
and
episode
on the back
we're on
prayers.
episode 25 of No Bucks Given, after talking about that for so freaking long, I will say that number one, I'm actually very glad we were able to talk about that the way we did, in a respectful manner with everybody, not just here on the call. But also
Excuse
in the
me?
chat.
No,
We-
sorry.
And you're blocked. No, but in all seriousness, like the reason I brought that up was not only because obviously I knew we were talking about it for a long, long time, but I just want to say the appreciation for these types of conversations that are maybe not the easiest to have, or even if we have different opinions, how shock and awe we're able to have a civil conversation. What?
We five have common sense, and even though I'm high, I still know how to use my common sense.
Stop the
Gummy
fucking landing.
Their
bears.
point of views out, and then let myself be heard at the same time.
It's a
I
beautiful
mean-
thing.
You almost stuck the landing. You just didn't say you were high.
We should pitch a show to Fox News. Just saying.
The
There's
View,
our
Part
content.
2.
But
We all have to
speaking-
become old black women.
spe-
Isn't that The View? I don't know. I've never seen it.
But the best way I can transition to this is let's lighten the mood and talk about fish on drugs.
I don't think this was actually like a late article, to be honest.
Wait, I'm surprised it took this long for them to find that, considering all these fish are in fucking Florida.
Oh, God, yeah.
It just had to come from Florida.
I just want to read the headline first before I get into the nitty gritty of this, because I think the headline itself is fantastic. It says fish in Florida are on drugs, comma, and scientists say that could be a really bad sign of what is ahead.
Their whole fucking country, or the whole fucking state is on drugs.
I want to know how that is a
This is one upping the Florida man.
Okay, here's the thing. Yes, Florida fish are on drugs. They're on fentanyl or some shit like that. However, if you consider all of the drugs that have actually been being pumped into fish all over the place
What?
for years now, think about it. You have all of these
I can't eat them.
poisons that are running into the rivers. They're running into the soil. They're running into all of this stuff, and you have all this poison that is in fish, literally all over the place. Florida has fentanyl or whatever it is.
Yep.
So yeah.
According to reports, a new study out of the Sunshine State found dozens of pharmaceuticals in the blood and tissue of the fish in the South Florida waters. Among the substances that reportedly showed up are Valium and blood pressure medications and antidepressants. Well, at least they're happy.
Blood pressure medication. Who the fuck is throwing that in the water?
So necessarily
Here's the
problem.
thing: people flush it down the toilet. That's what people don't understand. You flush it down the toilet, and it literally
Why would you flush blood pressure medication down the toilet?
It's expired.
Well, people flush pills down the toilet all the time, and they think, oh, it's not a big deal, but they
What's
don't
garbage
realize
for?
that shit is ultimately going through the wastewater treatment center, and then it's going to the ocean or to the river or to wherever your water goes to.
Is it supposed to be like put out in chemical waste?
Well, here's where I'm going to get to it. So they did a test with 93 bonefish in South Florida, and according to the report, all 93 were found to have drugs in their system, and it wasn't just one drug per fish. The report said that the average number of drugs found in each fish was 7, and that some of the bonefish had even as many as 16 different drugs in them.
Fish were tripping, man.
The fish are reportedly ingesting the drugs through human waste, and they said that the presence of the substances can change a fish's behavior and reproduction patterns. Per the report, a big part of the problem is that Florida's 4,000 waste treatment plants are not equipped to deal with the pharmaceuticals that humans excrete. So even if they are not just flushing it down the toilet in terms of or getting rid of
your poop.
Right.
I can't wait for Finding Nemo 3.
Finding
heroin.
Like you want a good high? I got this good sushi, man.
That
I got
shark
this really
tail?
good sushi.
This reminds me of
Good
those
fucking
fish from the
cook
Batman animated series where the Joker fish, where they're all smiling. That's
Yeah,
that's
pretty
where I'm
much it.
thinking of.
Yeah.
No one wants to buy my fish. Yeah, that's what I think of there. But I mean,
Oh my
Forget about
God,
Nemo.
I
I need
just,
to find my next high.
It just got like the next fucking like Cheech and Chong movie or something is gonna be them just eating sushi.
You just got to change the name to like a version of Cheech that's a fish.
Cheech and Bong.
Jungle fish.
No, I don't know.
I mean,
fish
Cheech and
stuff.
Chong Go Fishing sounds like a pretty
Yeah.
good idea for a sequel. Although I think Finding Nemo 3
Finding-
featuring Cheech and Chong.
Nemo,
Yeah.
they ate your mother. They ate your
Finding
fucking
Nemo
mother.
3.
Let me do a line off your ass.
Finding
Are you
Nemo
fit?
3.
Let me do a line off your little fin.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo 3. Where's Walt?
This is the story of how Dory became that way. The fish.
It all
And then they
makes
have the
sense
guy
now.
that played Walt in fucking what the fuck is that show?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. They have him in there.
Nemo, we need to cook.
Dude, you guys, I think we got
We need to cook
we got
now.
a fucking we got a multi-billion-dollar idea. Disney, where the fuck are you?
No, we can't go to Disney.
Listen, Vince Vaughn, Vince, just sign up the rights to Breaking Bad to Disney, and you've got yourself.
We got to go to Netflix. They'll give us money.
Man, the best
Netflix?
Pixar animated short series I've ever seen in my life.
Florida.
Perfect. Write it down. Write it down. Oh, I'm taking it.
Oh my god, the fish! I just seen the fucking gif of the fish. It's killing me.
That's,
I need to see it.
That's a
Oh,
blowjob
God.
waiting to happen.
Oh God. I mean, you're not wrong. At least he won't have high blood pressure either.
Oh my
Um,
god.
We'll keep it
So
low.
I think we might have talked about this next topic on a previous episode or like just kind of in passing, but fuck it, we'll bring it up again about the Oklahoma state rep who proposed the legislation that would mandate young men to get mandatory vasectomies.
Okay.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yep. let's
I mean, this is
all
like my body, my
snap,
choice
we're
thing
thinking
all
about.
over again, right? Like,
You know,
What?
but the sad thing is, though, basement. It's okay, right? It's okay because you're a man. they're boys. So
There's a lot of
according
things we
to
could
the
do that are okay because
hold on, according to the feminazis, they're boys, so they don't have the
First
right
of all,
to my body, my
don't
choice.
don't do non-essential surgery on anybody
Exactly. Like,
ever.
if you look at like countries like certain parts of Africa, for
Then we're
example,
going to
I
like
did
the
a
genital
I did
fucking mutilation shit.
yeah, I did a whole research paper in college on I can't remember what the tribe is, but it's a tribe in a part of Africa that they were under huge scrutiny because they did basically female circumcisions
Yeah, it
once the
was
female
terrible.
turned like teenager, and it's fucking torture, right? This would be the same equivalent to that. It's torture. That
I
you're
mean-
making a young boy go through a surgery that is not necessary.
First of all, floating the idea is just wrong. This idea should have never been brought to any table because it makes no sense at all. Period.
Agreed.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago.
And Tim says it
Yeah,
perfectly in the
yeah,
chat.
it's
This is
fucking
men's abortion.
Yeah.
I mean, this is preventing something before it even happens, and God knows what it might do to a young
and
kid.
you know the thing
that's
is
still
that
developing.
you're also relying on the fact that the vasectomy is going to be reversible, and in some cases they're not. So you could potentially be making a young boy impotent for the or not impotent, but like what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, he wouldn't be able to have children for the rest of his life. I can't think of the name. Sterile.
Sterile.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Impotent, it's the same
shoot
thing.
blanks.
It's another term. You're okay.
Well, isn't impotent where they can't get a woody?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have a
Yeah.
name.
So yeah, they're two different things. Shut up. Shut up, impotent. Nobody asked you.
No, I just feel like there's like you can't anything that you're gonna do preventative wise. Hey, it was in fucking Moon Knight. You can't like they were trying to prevent crime before it happened or whatever. Remember that shit?
Story
Yeah,
of
you can't anything you're trying to prevent before it happens is and you're willing to do surgery on somebody to do that. That's fucked, man. I'm sorry.
It is.
It's not the same. It's not the same as the abortion conversation. It really is not because that's after the fact. This is before the fact.
Yeah.
This is more like birth control for women versus vasectomy for men.
Yeah.
This
so
would
that is
basically
no-
be
Because birth control, like the pill, is fucked up. It fucks women up quite a bit.
But it can fuck women up.
I think
Well,
I think it does.
There's a lot of
something.
there's a lot of
You're better.
there's
to
a lot
speak.
of like there's a lot of potentially really serious risks for birth control with the majority of women. Most of your side effects with birth control are going to be pretty mild, depending on like what birth control form it is, obviously, and how much succession rate they have. But
Gina,
there are what
you want to know how I got these blood clots?
Fucking
I hate
What?
you so much. Shut up.
What?
But like
What?
like with certain birth controls, there are potentially serious risks, especially if you smoke. That adds a
Yep,
huge
serious
factor
risk.
into it. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, if you smoke it up to your heart attack risk, blood clot risk.
It ups your heart attack risk, yeah, your blood clot risk, and a couple of other things as
I
well.
still don't
Seasoned
think
fish will be fine.
that thing. It's my body, my choice.
I mean, I'd rather take a pill than get my.
If a woman gets that
Giblets
fucking
snipped.
right, I have the very
Yeah,
same
I'm
fucking right. Sorry. The feminazis can eat my ass.
So I did throw this in the
Well,
chat
here's
too
the
for the
thing,
poll if
you know-
people want to voice their opinions.
Well, here's the thing. Like me personally, I would rather take the risk with the birth control, because I know whether or not I'm ready to have a child, right? And you know what? Birth control is not 100% effective either, because I was on birth control when I got pregnant with both of my kids.
But you know
So
what is
it's
100%
not 100%
effective?
effective.
Never having sex again.
That is misery in itself, and I am not on board with that.
And
Not on board
but
with
welcome
then
that.
to
there's the risk
hell.
of getting pregnant.
I am pregnant.
Perginat.
I don't know how to answer this fucking question, because what the fuck does snip it up or tuck them back mean?
Tuck them back, baby.
It can't
Like
be more
obviously
clear.
snip it up is like obviously vasectomy, but what the
Yep.
fuck is tuck 'em back?
Tuck 'em back.
Putting them away. Meaning,
You know how you like comb your hair to the back?
I'm so confused. Like
You've never heard of drag queens tucking?
yes, I have, but like what does that have to do with like pregnancy? Like
That's what it means. That's
whatever.
what it
I guess I'm going with tuck 'em back. I
Just
Good.
have a splash party or whatever the fuck it was called. A wet party.
Party.
Oh yeah, some gross shit. Fucking weirdos.
ugh.
Anyways,
I don't know, but you know, where have we come to as a country where we have politicians that are proposing bills where it's literally mutilation of our children?
Or anybody. You shouldn't forcibly be
State.
able to do anything to anybody. To an extent.
Agreed.
So, since I can't think of another fucking way to transition out of this segment,
Tuck it back, baby.
tuck it back. That should
Tuck
be
it back.
That should be the name of the episode. That'd be a great name for
Our band.
an all trans baseball team. So, we got some Star Wars.
I got one. The Dodgers.
That's even
good too.
Oh, that's good. That's
So
good.
we got some Star Wars tidbits, which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out, we started doing the live watch-alongs on the channel. We did do episodes 1 and 2. I was not, unfortunately, present, but I think Heather and Basement were?
Basement and me.
Oh, JP. I did
Together
watch for Obi-Wan
forever.
Kenobi.
I don't think we're gonna do watch-alongs anymore. I
No,
think we're gonna do
it's
a
better
quick
to do the review. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll probably switch it over to a reviews standpoint.
Yeah.
So
Here, we might do it on this show.
On No Bugs Given.
Yeah, we'll just do it. It comes out on Fridays.
that's
So
true, yeah.
We'll do it quick, or we'll do it, the Friday night.
After the episode airs.
No, I feel like
Yeah.
the inclusion on No Box Given is good. Most of the people in the chat are watching it, so
Anywho, we'll figure it out. But the point is that we started doing. We're going to be starting to do reviews on Obi-Wan Kenobi series. TLDR for mine. So far, so good. Fucking loving it. First 2 episodes are out. I think there is 6 total in this.
6
And
parts.
I
It's not
don't,
episodes, it's 6 parts.
I don't know if there's like.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, 6. Yeah, gotcha. I don't know if there's any word yet on a season 2. We'll have to see, obviously, how all this shit plays out. But anyway, but we did get some other tidbits, including apparently Ahsoka series coming out, which confirms that a live-action Rebels characters will also be part of the franchise. We also saw. I'm gonna butcher these fucking names because I'm not as a hardcore Star Wars fan. Andor, right? We have the Andor trailer that came up this week.
he's a human.
What?
Nothing.
So straight from the Star Wars Celebration Day comes official word that Lucasfilm from the upcoming Ahsoka TV series for Disney Plus will also feature live action characters from the Star Wars Rebels TV series. A sizzle reel of footage was shown at the end, which revealed that Hera, Ezra, and Sabine will appear in the TV show. Casting was only confirmed for one of the characters, though the actress Natasha set to play Sabine in live action. Another surprise from the panel was the arrival of actress Rosario Dawson herself, who made her debut on stage with none other than the Rebels droid Chopper, confirming he would also appear in the series. So, for those, good.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish what you're going to say.
What I was going to say was real quick is that for those of you who don't know what Star Wars Celebration Day is, essentially it's kind of like their own, well, at least it was, almost like their Comic-Con where they revealed a lot of footage and different things. They showed a little bit of clips for season 3 for Mandalorian, this part also, and I believe there were some other tidbits, which I'm sure I can tell JP is like literally at the edge of the seat just waiting to talk about all this stuff. So the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, so and spoilers, if you have not seen Rebels,
Oh no!
Rebels ends.
I'm going pee.
Okay, so because she doesn't like Star Wars, well, she's just not cool. So Rebels ends where Ezra takes, I can't remember his name. He's the blue dude.
Is the guy that's like a
Admiral? No, it's Admiral.
a wrong colored goblin gonna be in this?
No, he's not a goblin.
He's not.
He's more like Squidward.
He's
Yeah.
a Chris. He's a Chris.
I knew it because
Admiral
he's
Thrawn?
not green.
He's blue.
Thrawn?
So,
Oh.
and his name eludes me at this time. So
Thrawn? Admiral
Ezra
Thrawn?
takes
No.
no. It's one
It's the goofy pirate dude.
Thrawn. Admiral Thrawn.
No, that one. Okay, I thought you were
So
talking about the other one.
Ezra takes him, and he ends up. You have to watch the last episode of Rebels to understand what I'm saying. So Ezra ends up taking him. Well, that's the end of the show. So the dude in the beard, like his name eludes me right now too. He dies.
Kanan or something like
Kanan. He dies.
It's canon.
Kanan Jarrus, he dies. In the episode before that. The other dude, he survives. And then you've got Hera and Sabine. Well, Ahsoka comes back. And Ahsoka grabs Sabine, and they're going to go find Ezra. That's what I think Ahsoka's series is going to be. And it's going to include the Mandalorian, probably pop in there for a little bit.
I'm sure.
I think that's where they're going with the series.
I will say that, and you know, it's funny. We had a little side conversation about this, I think, in the group DMs, and obviously, as the asshole who decided to start the Marvel Roundtable series here on the channel, I will say that I'm looking forward to a lot of the Star Wars stuff, even though I'm not as invested as invested in you know, in terms of like the fandom stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that I do enjoy. I love Mandalorian. I've loved Book of Boba. I didn't hate it. And so far I'm enjoying Obi-Wan. But the one thing that I have to go back to is the fact that I think the reason that the Star Wars stuff is pretty damn good for the most part, as far as, since, you know, the not counting the in-between stuff that we're seeing here, is because you have your main arch to go from, which is the 9 movies, and there's so many nooks and crannies, because it's like an English muffin, but there's so many nooks and crannies that you can go through as far as different characters and stories, and you can really play around with so many different things to get from like certain points to certain points, and there's like in between times that are fucking decades, so you can do so much with so many different characters and settings.
It's essentially connect the dots. That's what one is doing, and that's what Ahsoka's gonna do. And I don't think Jon Favreau is gonna have. He might direct a couple of these, but this is Dave Filoni's baby. Ahsoka Tano is Dave Filoni's, and Dave Filoni's alone. This will probably be his. Hey, Kathleen Kennedy, this is how you do a fucking female in a fucking goddamn movie.
My favorite, one of my favorite Star Wars things is actually not even the movies or TV shows. Is fucking Knights of the Old Republic. The game was solid as shit. They are remaking it.
They are remaking it, and they are also working on a series of said. From what I
would have loved them to do. I actually would love them to do movies of that, because
that's exactly what I think they're doing.
It has all of what's needed for Star Wars to succeed, and it's already been written and done, so they don't have to fuck around with it.
Well, you know they will.
Yeah,
of course they will.
Everyone's gay.
I love how that's like that's what I come back to.
I love Star Wars. Gina, I know you don't like Star Wars, but I mean,
it's not that I don't like them. It's just I haven't watched them enough to, you know.
So the thing with it is like, for me personally, and I said this in the basement last night. A dear friend of mine who I served with time ago, he was killed in the war in Iraq. We were out in the field, and for 23 days, we did nothing but talk about Star Wars. And that's how we got through our AT, was talking about Star Wars.
Your AT?
Yeah. 23 days, 24 hours a day, because he was in my team, so we just...
There you go.
You know, if we weren't doing anything as far as what we needed to do, we were talking Star Wars. So it's a universe.
There's so much to it.
it's vast.
Yeah.
Now there's two sides to that. There's the canon, and then there's the expanded universe.
See, the thing is,
I'm more of a fan of the expanded universe than I am of the canon. Now, episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to me, they were already set in stone. George Lucas had already done those, so that had nothing to do with Kathleen Kennedy at all. Anything after that is called canon. They have done some really good things in the canon universe, but then there's other things that they have not. Episode 8. So,
bless you. Horrible.
So that's where I stand on it. And if Gina, if you want to watch them with me, I can explain things as we go. It's really easy to explain. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I've never really had a problem understanding Star Wars because it's I understand it just fine, but you know, I guess I watched the first ones, you know, that the like very first ones that came
honestly,
out.
I'm gonna say something.
Like, what was it, 1 or 2? And then after that, I just kind of fell out of Star Wars. And then by the time that, you know, they started making them again, it wasn't my thing. That and like Yoda disappeared, and Yoda was my fucking favorite. And then I got pissed that Yoda wasn't there.
I mean,
and then so then they bring back Baby Yoda, otherwise known as Grogu, and I fell in love with him. You know, now the Mandalorian is kind of like, I don't know if it's done or if it's just like not.
Season 3.
Season 3 happening.
But yeah, so like I guess
I'm gonna say
I was always obsessed with Yoda. So like when they took Yoda out of the situation, that's kind of where I felt.
Yoda's not taken out of the situation at all. He's a big part of the universe.
I'm gonna say that like from a person that's seen the MCU and Star Wars, and I'm not a super fan of either, they are fucking very similar.
You're fine.
I'm gonna say Star Wars is the MCU before the MCU became the MCU. In terms of
what's like
the action adventure and sci-fi aspect, they are not the same movies or anything like that, but very similar fandoms.
Well, I woun't mind like I'll sit down and I'll watch them one day. You know, it's just anything where there's like a gazillion things that I need to watch in order to like fucking. I mean, not understand, because like most of the Star Wars movies, you can watch them and you can get a grasp of like what's happening. But for like 1,010,000 different backstories, anything that I have to watch like 1,000 backstories for in order to understand the intricacies of what's happening behind the scenes, I'm not like
I do feel
it just adds to the story.
This is why I'm comparing Marvel and Star Wars, because most of the things like the way I feel, at least for both, better things happen in those universes, not on camera. In terms of like the material you can like read upon, if you want to read like Star Wars lore, or if you want to play like the games or anything like that, there's so much more, and a lot of that is treated with a bit more respect than some of the movies have. And I would say the same thing of the MCU. And then there's also like that kind of ridiculous part.
It's honestly kind of what has taken me out of the MCU a little bit too as of late, because you have to watch all of these little miniseries in order to like be able to understand every like the
for Doctor Strange that is a misstep for them 100%.
Like Doctor Strange 2, without going into detail, there's a few shows that you had to watch on Disney in order to like completely understand everything that was happening in the movie. But if you didn't watch those series, you could still get a grasp of what was happening. But in order to like have all of the like intricate details of what was happening, you had to have watched those miniseries.
And I mean, there's some comic book movies that you don't even really need to be a comic book fan to watch. That is not one of them, for sure. Like, I mean, I would say like Thor, Iron Man, the first one, Guardians of the Galaxy, though it's ridiculous. You don't need to be a comic book fan to enjoy the movie. And those are the movies that in my opinion, are the best. But in Star Wars, it doesn't get as... Yeah, there's deep lore, but just feel like the movies... The first three are meant to be taken by anybody that likes movies. The original 3 movies. The next 3 are weird as fuck because like there's just so much politics in them for a movie that's kind of like PG.
Yeah.
I like it. There's in the prequels, man. They spend a lot of time on politics.
Well, it's because you kind of had to.
Did they?
Yes.
I don't think they did.
Yes, they did.
Nah.
Yes, they did.
I don't know. I mean, I've enjoyed the Star Wars stuff that I have watched, but I guess anything that has like such a huge fandom for it that if you talk about a movie with somebody and they just start going off on you like, no, you don't understand. That's not my thing. Like,
it's a bit too
I
much.
enjoy.
It's overwhelming.
I enjoyed the movie, but when I have to explain every detail as to why I enjoyed it or like what linked what together, that's when I'm kind of taken out of the situation, and that's kind of the way I feel about huge fandom for anything.
And cheap plug, we're going to be reviewing Black Panther this Monday on the Marvel Roundtable.
Oh. God, I've never actually watched that movie.
Now's your chance.
Yeah, now's your chance.
I actually really don't want to.
I mean, it's just a very, very average Marvel movie that was put upon so many pedestals that it's hated because of.
We'll get there. Don't get too ahead of yourself.
I mean, when it comes down to Star Wars, like, okay, so what I'm saying is, yes, they did have to tell the politicking side of Star Wars in the prequels, but as a movie and the way that it's paced, they didn't do a very good job. Because
I just threw the ultimate poll in the chat, and it's not tucking back. So I'm curious. I'm going to leave that one up for a little bit and see what people say.
Boring.
I mean,
well, we all know what I voted for already.
I see the pros and cons of each. Like if we're talking the grand scheme of things, I see the pros and cons of each franchise. But what I'm saying is that for me, as the Marvel person of the group, with air quotes, I know, Heather, it's a serious topic. Star Wars.
It's Ahsoka.
I think I'm just saying is that I'm a little more excited about other aspects of the Star Wars like franchise, generally speaking, with like the Disney Plus shows. Like I should be more specific, because of
less is more.
Not just that, but like you have like your borders, right? Where Marvel's continuing to go in a linear direction with their stuff.
I also don't feel like with Marvel, everybody and their fucking grandmother has hit a saturation point. Where Star Wars has been, it's kind of like the DC thing where they've been done and they've been done a bit wrong, and that's not the core of it. The core of it's great if they can get there. So like, I mean, we're still on the journey. In the MCU, I feel like I've gotten the ride, I've gotten out of the car, and I don't want to get back in.
Nope.
Well, here's the thing. Like I have met fucking ridiculous people that are fans of both Star Wars and fans of Marvel, and I'm just gonna say right now, like those people, they're very fucking similar, and those are the type of people that I kind of try to skirt away from the conversation as much as possible, to be honest, because
then you block me then.
They get angry. Like they get angry if you don't know exactly what they're talking about, especially. Listen, no offense to you, Star Wars.
No, you're right.
Especially Star Wars fans.
Gina, you're describing dickheads that are also fans.
Oh my god! But like every single Star Wars,
not just necessarily fans.
You get it with everything. It's not just Marvel. It's also DC. It's Star Wars. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Trek, CW.
But like, reason, okay.
HG
Years ago, okay, I was like, I don't know, this was like fucking 10 years ago or whatever. I was on a dating site, right? Like I tried a dating site.
Was it
and every single
Farmers
person,
Only?
Farmers Only. But every single person that I met on there that said, like the first like 3 people that I talked to on there were huge Star Wars fans, and they would get like super pissy if I didn't know exactly what they were talking about. So after that, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, so anytime somebody brought up Star Wars, I was just like, nope, not talking that.
But like Basement said, there's people who are fans of it, and then there's like dickheads.
Well,
like,
and again, like you guys said, that goes for everything.
Yeah.
Wrestling, especially wrestling, is a huge thing that
that's insane.
their fans have turned me off of wrestling. To be quite honest,
I'm clearly a fan of Dragon Ball, but it's not like I'm shoving it down people's throats.
Wait,
or like,
you don't remember the 3rd minute of Austin versus Brett?
Yep.
I'd rather shoot myself in the head.
The people that do that kind of shit aren't real true fans. They're
Yeah,
just,
because if you're trying to be an
obsessive.
ambassador of a fandom, you want to accept people in and like try to like get them to enjoy the same stuff as you, not like shun them for thinking the other thing.
They're
It's
Jehovah's Witnesses.
well, and the people that
Is what they are.
That left a bad.
Have
the
you heard
people
about
that
the
left a bad
Seventh
taste in my
Tower?
mouth, They would not be considered fans in my
Talk about
opinion.
Lord
They're
Savior Luke Skywalker?
obsessive. Like super obsessive,
telling
and
you,
it was
it's
just
Jehovah's
like, yeah,
Witness.
no.
But
They'll knock on your door.
yeah.
Have you seen the last Spider-Man movie? Why are you dressed as Spider-Man? Why is your
Oh no,
dick
Tim,
out?
I'm not insinuating that you are like that at all. It's just like I'm just.
I feel
I'm
like you can like
explaining
somebody. You can
my
like
first
something.
taste of Star Wars.
The thing is, when you really like something and you want to share it with other people, a lot of people get like very defensive over it. It's like,
Yeah.
what you mean you don't
these are
like
grown-ass-
this? Yeah,
Like, and
but
you know the
I mean,
fucked up part
grown-ass
is
people
whether
are
it's
just
Marvel,
bigger kids.
whether it's
Fuck's
Marvel
sakes.
or wrestling or Star Wars or whatever. Anybody that gets like super angry if somebody doesn't agree with exactly what they fucking
What did
say
you just say?
can literally go get fucked. Like,
Yeah, all right, we're done with this.
just my
Let's
opinion.
move
But
on.
anyway, sorry. Also, new season of Stranger Things just hit, and it is fucking fantastic. Go check it out.
Yeah,
I'll-
if you're a fan of horror and the 80s, then you'll like it. JP, you won't like it. Heather, you might like it.
I think
Connor,
Heather will.
eat my ass because I want you to, and I'll eat
I
yours.
I haven't watched the new one, but I've watched Stranger Things.
No, I was just like,
The new one's pretty
what's
good.
wrong with a bit of ass
Yeah.
munching?
On a different topic. I know I saw this in the description of like the different topics we're going to talk about, and I did see it obviously on the thumbnail. And since we talked about wrestling for a brief second, I guess we might as well just quickly, fingers crossed. I guess there's a rumor about the brand split ending because of the recent unifications of both the world title and the tag team titles.
It's actually been confirmed that the brand split is not ending.
it's not gonna end.
I mean,
Why
even if it ends, it's only going to begin again in like 3 months. In my mind, it was always going to be the case.
And their speculation is because they unified the titles.
They're doing this to open up
And-
the doors
oh.
to allow more superstars to be on different shows.
I do have to say too that I actually read an article earlier today regarding like Stephanie McMahon's stepping away, and apparently it's she's stepping away for the foreseeable future. Like she hasn't said indefinitely or anything like that, but it's going to be a long.
I haven't
time.
seen her in years, so her leaving does nothing to me.
I think the last time I saw her on TV was she was introducing Gable Stevenson at Mania. I think that was the last time she was on TV.
Well, yeah, that was the last time I seen her too.
But it's not like she's done anything long term. I think the last time was God.
Well, she's all
but
behind
she
the
was
scenes
always,
stuff.
She was,
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
I was gonna say she was super behind the scenes, and like that Khan guy is like there's huge talks
Nick
about him
Khan,
being the
yeah.
one that's gonna take over her position.
Oh man,
I mean,
the cons are taking over everything.
I will say that when WWE originally did the
Con
brand
Air.
split,
You want to work for
I
AEW?
hate you.
Con Airs.
I want to see a
basically,
remake of Con Air with Tony Khan.
and Nick Khan just fighting.
God, no, why?
In
Why
the air.
would you? Why?
It's Con Air.
That was a good movie. Why
Yeah,
the fuck would
and
you
it
wanna
could
change
be
it like
better.
that?
Con Air,
Oh
the
my God.
worst movie any wrestling fan could watch. Rated R. Starts Friday.
We're transporting cocaine. That's all you need to say.
Chicken like Kramer on his fucking coffee binge.
Whoa. I think the original brand split, the OG one, was probably one of the best things WWE did in recent memory, as far as like the grander scale things. And when it was successful, fucking was it pretty good stuff. And then just
now it's just a ploy to do a draft again that nobody cares about and put
you know
little
what
effort
draft was
into doing
really
it.
important was the one that we did for our GMO that I still think that SmackDown is going to do absolutely fantastic on.
No, it's not. It's not. It's
NXT. NXT.
Yeah, I'll suck your dick for money.
Suck you dick for a pay-per-view main event.
We're poor.
No, you'll be fine.
We're poor because of you, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, I tried selling you, and then now I realize it's on me. So
listen, you can't sell me because of your mistakes, you fuck.
Can't I?
Now,
I am not for sale. You are not my pimp, you fucking asshole.
Listen, the invites to come to SmackDown is still there. We
Invite?
Listen,
No, not invite.
You never know. I might. Listen.
You're under contract for.
I'm not under any contract. You said try to
now you're saying
she can't just walk away. And I won't get anything back.
Listen, Sasha did.
You tried to sell
Oh my god! Don't you leave your belt on my table.
You don't pay me enough to afford a belt.
Yeah, that's true. She works in
just
a garbage bag.
To come to SmackDown is, I mean, we have a pretty good roster, and you'll be treated as an equal.
No.
Oh, that's tempting.
That's
I don't know. I
not
might
tempting.
walk out on you, Basement.
You know what? I might walk out on me.
Segueing into another bizarre topic was everyone's favorite social media site, Twitter. Shoot me. Apparently agreeing to pay $150 million in privacy fines just as the Elon Musk deal looms over. Federal officials allege company deceptively used phone numbers and emails collected for security purposes for targeted advertising. So they agreed on Wednesday to a new oversight and $150 million penalty to settle a federal privacy suit, the first major deal between a large tech company and the Biden administration Federal Trade Commission, which has pled to more aggressively police data abuses. Federal prosecutors allege that Twitter collected phone numbers and email addresses for account security measures and then fed the information with advertising tools and additional use of the data the government said it failed to disclose. The alleged activity violated the 2011 consent order between the FTC and Twitter that barred it from misrepresenting how it used individuals' contact information.
So my question is, why don't the individuals that were stolen see any of the money instead of it going to a federal fuck you in the ass court?
I'm right there with you.
I said in the Discord when
here's the thing, none of this.
I hope we get some of that money our way. I don't care if it's $400 or.
You know what? Here's the thing: whether you like him or not, everybody can kind of thank Elon Musk for putting a fucking stop to them doing that, because Elon Musk was actually the one that raised the eyebrow and was like, hey, wait a minute, I want to know what's going on with all these bot accounts and what's going on with all of the information and all this stuff. So we can actually thank him for putting a stop to that.
The FTC chairwoman's name is Linda Khan. I shit you not.
Oh my god! Welcome to Con Air.
Oh god, what can we do?
I can smell
King
the musk in the air.
Over. Oh god.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here. Whatever, they'll recover. And I'm not getting anything. They took my fucking number, and they sold it to some sort of like Japanese.
But did they? You were known that they did.
I don't know. I'm getting fucking calls from like.
It was for targeted ads on timelines.
I'm getting weird ass fucking calls on my phone every day.
I will say I've seen a lot.
You have to
of
pay your
ads.
bills. Who are you, Japanese?
I blocked
Keebler
cookies because I've seen their fucking ads on my timeline way too often, and
I was
my
just
profile
gonna
locked.
say, well, okay, here's the thing. Do you guys notice that now with certain people's tweets? Like I noticed it a lot with Dick Van Klondike and I can't remember his name, Scott, Klondike's friend.
Scotty Too Hottie.
No, but I've noticed a lot with like their tweets along with a couple of other people's that if they send out a tweet and you look down in their comments, there's always an advertisement in there.
Mm-hmm.
I shit you not. I literally just opened up Twitter just now. And I still have it on my browser. The very top tweet is a promoted tweet for Kohl's.
Let me look. The top tweet is from none other than. Oh God, I can't say that. I kid you not. I cannot say that. No, this is bad. I can't say that. I'm not going to say that.
Well, yeah, I noticed
it's from Apple TV. The next one is an ad from Apple TV.
I got whatever the fuck Fastastic is.
Flonase, what the fuck?
I got one from Kohl's. That's the first one.
The Flonase one was 1, 2, 3 tweets down. So Kohl's was the top. Then I did. There was 3 tweets. Then there was a Flonase one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tweets down. There's an NBA one. I'm muting all these.
Hey, here's the thing. Like, if this is a targeted advertisement, what the fuck is Fastastic? And are they telling me that I need to go on a diet?
Apple TV.
Target ad and variants of it all over the place, because I have one here for reset.com, which is a dieting thing.
The second tweet down is Fastastic, which is a fucking app for intermittent fasting. It's a fasting app.
From Netflix.
I got another one here from Fabletics.
I got
New
one
Amsterdam Gin.
Rob Reiner talking about Trump.
I mean, I got my second advertisement one is Paramount Plus, which I can understand because I have Paramount Plus. But
I got Disney
then there's
Plus.
something called Farfetch. What the fuck is Farfetch?
AT&T.
It's like Ibotta, I believe.
Well, it's Shoes Modest. It's a clothing app, like
Oh
designer.
my God,
clothes.
what the fuck? Jack Gallagher
Karen
looks like he has negative 20% body fat.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
what?
right in that tweet.
Scott Rowe is.
He looks like he's
a
a cancer patient, to be honest.
Klondike.
It could be. This is
Stranger Things.
This is one ad I have had on my timeline since I downloaded Trulia and started searching for a new place to rent. Not even a place to buy. This is when I was looking for another place to rent, so you get the fuck out of that
And
apartment.
anything you randomly look up.
It's Erie Metal Roofs. It's a company advertising that they'll give you a metal roof for free if your house qualifies.
This is great. Tim says that he says pennies hold on, where did that start? Okay, pennies for the dollar. Lawyers will get you a ton of cash. People will get minimum amount of the money from the suit. But then he says, I just imitate the FBI and tell them that they have reached the kidnap victim line.
When you get calls from random fuckers, yes. I mean, the calls they get aren't even in English. It's like, hey, ma, ma. I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
Why do I have one for fucking a rock identifier?
A rock identifier?
That's no bullshit. It's like it'll tell you what kind of a rock you're looking at.
Thank God, I need to download that immediately.
Oh
then.
my God.
But why?
Well,
I mean,
think
I could see having something like that. Like we have a.
If you're a geologist.
Well, here's the thing. We have a like a trail around a lake, not too far from here, that you can find a lot of different.
I hear a dog.
Rocks. Like yeah, it's my dog. Playing with this toy, but like you can find a lot of different rocks out there. Like they have different crystals and they have quartz rocks, a bunch of different kind of shit because it's right around like a mining place.
Well, this is why
so
they
I can
pinpointed
understand
you.
having an app like that for there, but like what the fuck else do you need that for?
They know you love the rock, crystal meth.
if you smell.
Yeah, that's my thing right there. Fucking meth. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's my thing too. Don't worry.
But the last little tidbit to throw out there, in terms of the different topics we were talking about here, is Ken Griffey Jr., who surprised a teen with an invite to the Hank Aaron Invitational. So it says here in the article, being called to the principal's office can be an unpleasant experience, one that most kids spend their entire childhood trying to avoid. But for one particular student at 10 Oaks Middle School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a trip down the hall on Wednesday would be remembered as one of the best moments in his life. Jordan Robinson, a gifted 13-year-old, both academically and athletically, was assured that he was not in trouble, and he sat down at the long table in the principal's office. I would have shit my pants. He was told instead that he was being recognized in a special honor roll ceremony. That's when
What?
Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. walked in and introduces himself. No big deal. It took about 3 seconds for it to sink in who it was, and a shocked Robinson froze, his mouth agape. There's even a picture in the article link if you could check it out. I'm going to let you get it all out. That's probably poor choice of words after saying his mouth's open. Like your principal said, you're not in trouble. Griffey said the official spokesperson for the MLB Youth Development Foundation, as well as special advisor to the commissioner, was there to personally invite Robinson to the Hank Aaron Invitational, one of baseball's premier youth showcase and development experiences scheduled each summer at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex in Vero Beach, Florida. Griffey's visit to Myrtle Beach stemmed from a series of unpleasant events that prompted Robinson's grandmother, Ellen Ross, to reach out to the MLB for help. She initially wrote a letter to Daryl Husband, a bishop in Richmond, Virginia, who works with MLB in a special play effort with black churches to encourage young people of color to play baseball. So Ross asked for some guidance for her grandson, the target of the alleged racial taunts from players while playing for the Carolina Forest High Middle School B team. Robinson was the only black player on the team. And it basically just goes on and how he was able to eventually find his way over to Robinson. I mean, holy crap, baskets. This is
I always wondered what
story.
happened to
That's
Ken
pretty
Griffey
awesome.
after he was on like the cover of the video game.
Yeah.
He just kind of like disappeared out of the world. But yeah, no, it's
You know what?
there's
Like,
nothing,
that's
there's nothing
really
really
awesome,
bad
though.
to take away from this. That's a solid story of him helping
Well, I
somebody
mean-
out. And the Hank Aaron
Yeah,
Invitational, is that for that age group?
I believe it
Yes.
is. Let me see here.
It's
Because when I watched
teenagers,
the
I think he said.
video and there's a bunch of like adults playing.
I mean, I think it's awesome, because like if you look back on baseball, there's been like a ton of people of color that have, whatever color they are, that have put an imprint on baseball. I mean, you have Jackie
Roberto
Robinson, and
Alomar,
like
he had sex with a
personally,
bunch of young kids or something.
I mean, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but like Kirby Puckett was huge throughout my childhood. I think it's cool. It's really cool.
But yes, to answer your question, Basement's 13 to 18-year-olds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I haven't heard. This is the first thing I've heard about this guy since I looked at the game that he was on. Like, literally.
Sometimes some of these guys want to go off into obscurity and want to be left alone.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
You know what though?
But it's always good to hear
I
like
think it's
them
awesome.
doing something that's
Well,
actually.
I think it's
good.
awesome that they went to this. I think it's awesome that they went to this kid's school, considering that he was getting bullied just because of his race. It's
my
always
God.
awesome. It's like a good news story anytime that you see them go directly to a kid's school, whether they're being bullied for this or that or whatever. It's always a good news story.
I have
We
nothing.
need more good news.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really like. I can't say. I mean, bottom line is, it's kind of. This is the one thing I read. I was like, what the fuck? I thought this guy went off into the fucking. It's like at the end of the Lord of the Rings. He went on that fucking.
I think that Basement's missing the whole like grasp of what this story is about.
Yes, because he's
No.
focused on where the fuck the motherfucker's been for the
Focus on
past
where
20
he's
years.
been.
No, I get what it's about. Fuck you guys.
So I did want to throw out one more thing that wasn't on the list, and the only reason I'm throwing this out there is because it's all over my fucking timeline right now as I'm blocking sponsored advertisements, literally left and right. For those of you who are unaware, actually, hold on, let me just make sure I've got this right here. Give me 1 second. I'm just double checking I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly and making sure it's the right date. So apparently, okay, I want to make sure I have the date right. So there's an AEW pay-per-view tomorrow.
Mhm.
Double or Nothing. And apparently a big story that's going around right now at the time of this recording is MJF possibly peacing out. And I say possibly and I have to very, very stress this, as this is a rumor at this point in time. He was supposed to be taking part in a meet and greet as part of the hype and the promotion going into the pay-per-view tomorrow, and he no-showed. Now, obviously, MJF is one of those very rare performers who is very good at like
keeping kayfabe alive.
Keeping kayfabe very, very well alive. And so this isn't necessarily something that's really shocking. He's obviously a douche at a lot of his meet and greets, flipping kids off and whatnot. And I don't give a shit. I to an extent, I find it very entertaining. But it seems like while this may have been it sounds like, this is a part of the character and a publicity stunt, apparently may not be the case, as there is now speculation running rampant that MJF booked a flight out of Vegas, which is where the pay-per-view is, to leave. And there's now rumors abound that he is possibly leaving and just bouncing out, because there's been rumors that he's been frustrated in AEW for some time.
He's upset with his contract.
The writing has been on the wall.
But this is also my problem with wrestling fandom, because there's always speculation. Like, who goes to show that while he may very well be upset with his contract or whatever, who goes to show that there wasn't some sort of a family emergency or something that he had to leave?
I'm also going to say, like, wait until
it
happens.
So everybody's just speculating. Everybody's speculating, like, he flew out because he's upset with the company and blah blah blah, which may very well be the case, but it might have been a case of there was a family emergency.
Every single time something happens in wrestling fandom is like they're there with that fucking big. They're like those three witches in that fucking movie. That movie, you know what I'm talking about?
Hocus Pocus?
You like Hocus Pocus. They're fucking concocting some sort of like bullshit all the time. I mean, it might be true, it might not be.
Hocus this fall, Heather. Yes.
Yeah. Here's the thing with MJF. I understand he wants to keep kayfabe alive, but by him not saying anything is kind of
a dick move.
Him not saying anything? What do you mean not saying anything?
Right now?
Oh, for like no showing his fans or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Sasha Banksing. Don't worry.
He's Sasha Banks it.
Because those fans obviously paid money to see him.
I mean, in the end, I don't give a flying fuck, to be honest. I mean, wrestling to me now, like, the fan base has killed me. Like, I'm dead because of that.
I don't like him. He just reminds me of The Miz, and that's it.
I think he is he's much better than The Miz.
I concur.
He reminds me of The Miz.
I will say, though, for him, he's a better wrestler than The Miz, but he's not that much of a better wrestler than The Miz. I really wish he put a bit more time on... Yeah.
Sorry?
I just wish he put a bit more emphasis on his wrestling, because... And the one thing that MJF has to sit down and fucking thank the Lord for every fucking night is the fact that he hasn't been turned on. Because he is on he's on that precipice of he's on that precipice of saying something or doing something too wrong.
He hasn't been turned on. All right. All right, he hasn't been turned on.
I hate you guys. I can't, I'm not always talking about sexual shit.
Like they did for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was pure baby face, and he did that flip to fucking heel the way WWE wanted him to. The fans didn't like it.
I just feel like he takes things a step further than anybody else, but he's never held accountable for it.
Right.
Also,
it's not necessarily even phrasing; it's spacing. Like, you need to space your words correctly.
No, turned on is it could be taken either way. I'm gonna say turned on.
He's lucky. He's lucky
turned
that he hasn't been turned on.
I'm gonna shoot you both.
Whereas you could have said, he's lucky that the fans haven't turned on him. Like, that makes sense.
Shut the fuck up! It made sense in my mind. I mean, I wasn't talking in any sexual connotation. I'm gonna mow you guys. You know The Happening? You've seen The Happening?
Listen, no.
Lie down.
People like Connor. You have Connor and I on the call, okay? And
I'm gonna mow your
how
lawns.
We fucking think.
I love how I'm getting roped into this now. Okay.
You shut up because you were thinking the exact
Yeah,
same thing
you
that I
guys-
Didn't
you
say
guys
it
are-
wasn't. I'm just
Keep
saying
your
I love
minds
how I
at
get
the
roped into
gutters,
this.
okay?
Igniting.
Gross
Okay,
individuals.
mind is out of the gutter.
You gross individuals.
So MJF, douchebag.
So it's obviously one of two things. It's either a work or it's a shoot. Clearly.
Or his family is dead and he's going back home.
Jesus H.
So if it's a
Alright,
work,
let's go to that dark place.
he'll show up at the
You
pay-per-view.
put us in that dark place.
He'll show up the pay-per-view and just do his job. If it's a shoot, the only thing I can say is about this whole thing, and this is the only thing I'll probably say about it, is I don't think it's a smart decision because
On his behalf, you mean?
yeah,
Okay.
because let's say hypothetically it's because of the fact that he's frustrated with AEW, which I mean,
Good fucking luck going anywhere else. Doing
without
what you're doing.
knowing the details of contracts and shit, to some extent I can't blame him. I'm going based purely off of what I know, which is very, very limited, right? But let's say he does. I don't think fucking bouncing on a advertised pay-per-view is gonna be like WWE is gonna be like, oh god, we gotta sign him now. Could you see what he? Because he fucking like fledged. They just.
I mean, especially with Sasha Banks.
Banks
I mean, I could see them working it
Personally,
as I'm like 80% angle because I do feel like as an angle, if they work him like working AEW to be like, I'm worth more than this, it's so in line with his character.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
only that, but you gotta realize who. Because me personally, I think it's a work and I don't think he's gonna show up at the pay-per-view because I think that they're working it where
They have 13
He's-
matches. They can scratch
he's
one.
supposed to wrestle Wardlow tomorrow night, and he is scared of Wardlow, but he doesn't want to admit that he's scared of Wardlow. But he keeps on running away from Wardlow. So I don't think he's going to show up at the pay-per-view because I think they're going to put it where they're working him to where he's running away from Wardlow. Like he doesn't want to fight him.
And I will also say MJF would be dumb as fuck to leave AEW.
And that's still
Agreed.
stupid booking. That's
Agreed.
dumb fucking booking.
Agreed.
Well,
But that point is
I'm not
that
against. I'm not against the
100%.
idea of them using his like. I mean, it fits the character.
It's
So I can't say it's dumb booking.
If it doesn't show up and it was all a booking decision, that is the dumbest fucking thing I think I've ever. That is like the worst.
Well, I mean, if a lot of people are looking forward to that match, you can. What I would like to happen is like his music play and he's not there, so then Wardlow goes and finds him in the back. That's what I would have
Agreed.
done. So you still have the match, but not the match in and of
Drag
itself. It's just like a
You have
backstage beatdown.
you like break in and you have like Tony Khan or the Young Bucks or somebody say, okay, this match is now turned into a Falls Count Anywhere match or something
Or just
like that.
just make it a backstage segment where the match never really happens,
Backstage
but
brawl.
you do get like
It's
a
a brawl,
beatdown or
yeah.
something. I mean, there's ways to go about it. It fits the character. I can't hate on it.
Opinions off yet again because they want to see this match.
Yeah, but it's one of 13. I'm sure they'll accept. I mean, if we look back at the Attitude Era, this did happen.
It did happen. It happened quite often, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes not giving the fans what they want is actually giving the fans exactly what they want.
Yeah, because then the fans would be even more excited because you have like a brawl going backstage, or you're being shown Triple H stalking through the stadium looking for Shawn Michaels, or fucking Kurt Angle looking for Stone Cold Steve Austin because he has
especially
his
with-
medals.
With a card so full, I think they'd be okay with doing away with another like regulated match. It could be like they've done in the past, like Gino was saying, like it could be something that they spread out over the night of him trying to find the guy.
It's one of their biggest built matches of the year. I don't think that is a smart thing to do.
But
I don't know. I don't watch it. So
Right.
in other news, before we, sorry, Connor, before you get to the end of this, rest in peace to Ray Liotta.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he was.
quick.
How old was he? He was like 60 or something.
67.
67.
67.
Was 67.
I mean, still.
Died in his sleep in the Dominican Republic,
so-
where Basement keeps on trying to get all of us to go.
God, Dominican Republic's the best. But I'll also say, like,
Listen, I don't want hookers jumping out of bushes at me, okay?
you say you don't,
speak for
but
everybody
you
on the call,
never
please.
know.
Listen, I
Speak for
don't.
everybody
And
on the call, please.
I would say, like, dying
I'm
in your
sorry?
sleep in Dominican Republic is pretty. Like, if I had to pick a way to go, that's not out of the.
Top 5.
Also, real quick, it's not just the hookers jumping out of the bushes that I don't want. I have a feeling that you would get so drunk that you would be one of the hookers jumping out of the bush. So
I don't need to
Yeah,
get
'cause no one
drunk to
would
be
want
that.
me. It's aggressive marketing. Bye, name.
But I was just curious, what is everyone's favorite Ray Liotta movie?
Goodfellas.
And
Yep.
say, I think
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Fellas is
Good
100% mine as well.
have to be the one I know him the most for, but I feel like there's. I mean,
Well,
it's
he was
funny
the main
because like,
character in
Yeah, he was in
Goodfellas,
that
and he
one.
was also. He was in Casino, right? Or is
Yes.
that there's 3 mob movies that all came out around the same time.
I don't
Well, he was in The Godfather as well, wasn't he?
There
for a
was
little while?
no, he wasn't. I don't think he was in The
okay,
Godfather
never
at
mind.
all.
Sorry.
But I like The Godfather is like I sorry, but I watched this movie. It's very slow.
Listen, and that's one of the reasons why it's not my favorite mafia movie. My favorite mob movie is Goodfellas. Like, that will always
Same.
be my favorite mob movie.
You know what, Ray Liotta? He was either the mobster or he was like the bad guy in television.
Which is why my favorite movie of his is actually Copland.
Yeah, there you
I don't
go.
know if I've seen that.
That was with Sylvester Stallone, right? And he gained weight for it. I remember that movie, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually seen that movie.
He's an alright actor. I mean,
I think he was.
I
I think he
love
was he was typecast, but in that type he was casted, he was good.
he was pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Jurgen says that I'm not sure if he's replying to this for a movie or if he's replying to the MJF stuff, but
I
it says no
mean,
escape.
He might be replying to who he's keeping in his basement. I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Yeah.
yeah. Let me see here. No Escape, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Liotta.
Yes.
The thing is, Ray
Yeah.
Liotta was in
So
a
did-
multitude of A-list movies, but a lot of movies that never saw the light of day, or like nobody watched, and a bunch of TV at some point.
I
So
forgot
it
he
was
played the bad guy in Wild Hogs too.
Exactly, I told you the bad guy. He's either the bad guy or the mobster. It's his two roles.
Basically, it's
Field
one
of
of the
Dreams.
two.
He was the I
Bad
forget what they
guy.
call him, but the guy in Field of Dreams.
Yep. Shoeless Joe.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yes, he was Shoeless Joe Jackson. And
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't in it very much. He was just Shoeless Joe Jackson
Right.
in the movie.
So, like I said, mobster or bad guy or Shoeless Joe.
I mean, he's
But I
had
mean,
a
yeah, I
very
mean-
similar
He wasn't a
career
bad guy in
trajectory
John.
to.
He was in. Sorry.
I was gonna say he had a career trajectory very similar to Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in John Q, and he wasn't the bad guy in that one, if I remember correctly. He was.
Was
the
he a
cop
police guy?
in
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. It's not far removed from
But-
bad guy.
Basement.
hmm
Who's on your thing right now?
It's Kathleen Kennedy.
She's always on
Who
my
the fuck is
thing.
Kathleen
You know what I'm
Kennedy?
saying?
She's the executive producer of Star Wars, everything Star Wars.
Oh.
She's the one that George Lucas put in charge of Star Wars.
That's
Holy
anytime
Christ. Like,
anytime she walks in the room, it's the Vader
I-
theme
so-
song.
I'm scrolling through the list of Ray
They don't play
Liotta
jizz
movies
for
right
her.
now. And
Nobody
first of
plays
all,
jizz for
I
her.
never really realized exactly how many movies he was in that he played a supporting role in.
Mhm.
But I almost
99% of them.
This movie.
Well, you can tell that he's definitely a type because it's either he's the mob guy, the cop,
Or
the bad guy,
yes,
Or
the
mob.
bad guy in all of
Yeah.
them because like he's in Charlie St. Cloud, but in Charlie St. Cloud he actually plays the
Cloud.
ambulance driver that gives Charlie St. Cloud the medallion or whatever. So like he's always in that official type role. or a mob role. One of the three.
It's like an echo. Other than that, I think we hit everything this week. Was there anything else anybody else wanted to throw out there?
Absolutely not.
We spent too much time
Thoughts
on
and
the
prayers.
on the drugs fish. I know. Want to thank once again everybody who joined us in the chat, and of course the wonderful members of the Horny Goat crew here: Heather, JP, Basement, and Gina. If you guys want to, make sure hit that subscribe button over on youtube.com/hornygoat and listen to us on your favorite podcasting place so we can just drill it right into your ear canal. We're of course available on Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, and of course Apple Podcasts as well. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, hit that 5-star rating so you can get out to the masses a whole lot better. But other than that, thank you all for tuning in to episode number 21 of No Bucks Giving. We will be back possibly tomorrow, if not the very latest, Monday, coming at you with another Marvel Roundtable with Black Panther. And until then, guys and gals.
It's African American Panther.
Shut up. Shut up. Hold on. He's Ray Liotta is supposed to be in a movie called Cocaine Bear coming out.
Oh, God.
2023.
You shared that with me.
It's an autobiography of Basement's life. Anyway, have a good night, y'all. We'll see you in the future. Horny Goat for life.
But I'm in control.
Yep, you do.
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine
My
highway.
cocaine.
Let me do a
Listen,
cocaine line
not
off your
only-
bum.
Yeah.
Not only is he in it, but fucking Ice